There was a royal seal of approval for Niels Christian Iversen from the Crown Prince of Denmark as he was congratulated on his win in Copenhagen. Round 6 of the World Championship bid farewell after 11 years at the park and on a night of unpredictability and surprises as the series reached the halfway point of the season. Whilst all eyes were initially focused on the battle at the top of the championship with Woofenden and Hancock, it was Australia's Troy Batchelor who stole the headlines with an unbeaten run throughout the heats and semis to haul an impressive 18 points and a berth in the final. Whilst the Danish fans had plenty to cheer about with good performances throughout the night from Niels, Michael Jepsen Jensen and wildcard Peter Killerman, it was a night to forget for Pedersen and Bjerre. Woofenden, who led the World Championship coming to Parken, battled hard all night, but failed to reach the final, something that his nearest rival did. Hancock was joined by Killerman, Batchelor and Iversen in the final. Poor starts from both Killerman and Batchelor gave Iversen in blue the opportunity to lead Hancock after the second corner, a position he held until the checkered flag, giving the Dane on home soil his second ever Grand Prix win.
It was a big night for me and a good experience and just a really good night.
So after 6 rounds of this year's World Championship, America's Greg Hancock leads from Britain's Ty Woofenden by only 1 point. Both men have now put daylight between themselves and the chasing pack, headed by Denmark's Niels Christian Iversen, some 10 points behind Woofenden in third.
I'm out there to take points. It doesn't matter there's guys that are taking points when you least expect it. So for me, I'm chasing a world title and it doesn't matter who's around me.
Cardiff and the Millennium Stadium, the spiritual home of Speedway, hosts round 7 of the series as 45,000 fans make their annual pilgrimage to the sport's biggest event of the year. Whilst all eyes will be on the British duo of Woofenden and Harris, it's a big night in his career for the wild card Craig Cook as he too flies the flag in front of the home fans.
Feeling really good, I got the bike set really good and I'm looking forward to it, there's no pressure on me this year and just going to enjoy it.
Hopefully they're always good here, they're always fantastic, they always get behind the British boys, so hopefully that will spur me on to good things.
I was contemplating whether to put some earplugs in, but I want to soak it up and make the most of it.
Pyrotechnics, light displays, laser light displays, it's all dramatic theatre stuff here to launch this Grand Prix. It's the 14th time we've been here at the Millennium Stadium, the 14th successive staging here in the Millennium Stadium of the British Grand Prix. We were first here in 2001. Many said it's just a pipe dream, but it became reality and it is the biggest speedway event in the world. It's almost time to meet the riders. Then we will have 20 qualifying heats plus the semi-finals and the final. It is a sensational atmosphere. Hope you're getting the atmosphere at home. And Jason Garrity, one of the reserves from Rye House and Coventry. What an experience for that young man, Kelvin.
I'll say, what a fabulous way to be introduced. And I'm sure he'll be desperate to get a ride tonight, but this is something very different, very new. And I've got to say, this is quite spectacular so far.
Ben Barker is the other reserve at number 17. And the riders emerge from inside the big area in the middle of the infield. And Ben Barker, who has got problems in the UK, unfortunately Birmingham is Elite League club under serious problems right now, but he's the other reserve alongside Jason Garrity. So meeting the riders right now, the 40+ thousand fans that are here in the Millennium Stadium. And next rider that we meet is Craig Cook,
Well,
who's the wild card.
Yeah, he rode brilliantly in the British final, of course, to qualify for tonight's Grand Prix, and what a prize it is. Fabulous atmosphere. I'm sure he's got to be a little bit stage struck, because this is something he will not have experienced before, but I wish Craig all the best tonight. It's a fantastic opportunity for him.
Certainly is, and Craig Cook, who rides for the Bellevue Aces and the Edinburgh Monarchs, rides for 2 clubs in the UK. Bellevue in the Elite League and Edinburgh in the Premier League. And now Michael Jensen, who gets another chance because of the unfortunate injury to Chris Holder.
Yeah, he's a Grand Prix winner and a World Cup winner from 2 years ago. He's been out of form, but has rejoined Coventry Bees in the UK. Rode in the previous Grand Prix in the Parkin Stadium, and I expect another strong showing from him here this evening.
Chris Harris is next, winner here in Cardiff in 2007, and that is a fantastic welcome for the British boy.
Yeah, fair play. He's had a hard time this season in the Grand Prix. Has found points hard to come by. We will always remember his victory here in 2007. It was extraordinary, and I'm sure he would dearly love to put on a big show here this evening. Great reception for him.
Certainly one of the highlights of Speedway Grand Prix history, that moment 7 years ago now when Harris pipped Greg Hancock on the line here at the Millennium Stadium. And here's Kenneth Pierre, the pocket rocket from Denmark.
Yeah, had injury problems once again, has struggled with injuries throughout his career. Back in the Grand Prix, which is to his credit, he battled his way back in, but has found points hard to come by. But you can never write him off. He is a class rider when he really gets his act together.
Can you imagine the roar for Ty Woffenden when he is introduced to the
forward to
crowd
that.
here? Andreas Jonsson still has a lot of support in the UK. He's ridden for the Coventry Bees and the Lakeside Hammers in the UK, and a rider of vast experience, but the Swedish boys at the moment struggling, it has to be said. Jonsson really not finding his top form.
Well, he was world number 2 just a few short years ago, and he has struggled again to be consistent at this level. And Andreas Jonsson is a multiple Grand Prix winner, so we know he has the pedigree. He'll be looking forward to this, no doubt.
German Martin Smolinski, there's plenty of German fans here tonight as well. Martin in his debut Grand Prix campaign, and of course he won in New Zealand, but it does seem an awful long time ago now.
Yeah, it was a spectacular debut ride, and he fully deserved to win on the night. He was fast, but he's found points again, difficult to come by, and has slipped down the order in the Grand Prix, and not racing that much. Doesn't do that much competitive racing outside the GP, so maybe he needs to do a little bit more.
Now, Troy Batchelor had a sensational Grand Prix in Copenhagen, and interesting that he's got the old headphones on there because of the noise of the crowd. But my goodness, Batchelor was sensational 2 weeks ago.
Stunning. The performance of his life, 20 points out of 21, very nearly won the Grand Prix, probably did deserve to win on the evening. Don't think he saw it coming, but it was an exemplary display from him, and we've got very similar conditions here this evening.
Batchelor's first appearance at the Millennium Stadium. Freddie Lindgren, and Freddie has flattered to deceive on occasions. He's 10th in the World Championship with 47 points, but Kelvin, he's only scored 9 points in the last 2 rounds. That is a concern for him.
It is. He's been out of form, but he's made the final here before, and I'm sure he's looking forward to it. He's got a strong following in the UK, having ridden for the Wolverhampton Wolves for an awful long time. So Freddie, on familiar ground, he'll be looking for a big night.
Now, Christoph Kasperzak, we know what he's capable of course.
Yeah.
18 points in Big Gosh, but has had a long-standing knee injury which has clearly affected him. He's not hit double figures since then.
No, lost his confidence, and he'll be looking to find it here this evening. Has been on the rostrum here a couple of times, and on his night, he is nigh on unbeatable. The performance he put in Bydgoszcz was out of the top drawer, so Kasperzak looking to get back to his best.
Now, Jere Campbell is 8th in the World Championship right now, 54 points, and he really is a fine rider. But, of course, for Hampel, he's not hit the consistency that we know he can for a rider of his quality.
No, and he's had some poor Grand Prix which have seen him slip down the order. He's the world number 2. He's genuine world class, multiple Grand Prix winner. He'll be looking for another big night here this evening for sure. More than capable of winning.
Well, we'll see Darcy Ward now, talented young Australian, who is a real box office attraction. And what a reception for that young man, Darcy Ward. Yep. This is his debut in Cardiff, Kelvin. He missed last year through injury. Here he is.
Yeah, he's one of the most eye-catching riders in the world, and on his night he is unbeatable. He's not quite performed at his best in recent Grand Prix, and I'm sure he'll be very keen to put in a top performance here this evening. We know he's capable. Starting can be his Achilles heel. Carrying an injury, that knee injury, is certainly hindering him, but I'm sure he'll really want to dig deep here this evening.
Yeah, Matti Zagar, who won in Finland. That was round 3. Just got Woofenden beaten in the final there. Then he got double figures in the next GP, and he's currently 5th in the world standings, the Slovenian.
Well, he's class, isn't he?
He
and
is.
He's grown in stature at this level, and he's Grand Prix winner now. And Zagar's got quick equipment. He's a classy rider, and he's always going to be there with a shout.
Now, let's listen to the reaction for Nicky Pedersen here. He's the pantomime villain, Kelvin.
Yeah, but he's part of the show, and without question, Nicky is a hard charger. He will not let this affect him. He's come out publicly and said that this will inspire him. He won't care how he's booed, how heavily he's booed here tonight. It just seems to spur him on. 3-time world champion, don't forget. And he likes it here.
I'll tell you what, he looks wound up. He looks angry.
Oh, he's ready for action, that's for sure.
Now Niels Christian Iversen, who rides for the Kings Lynn Stars here. His promoter Keith Chapman is here to watch tonight. He's a very popular young man.
Yeah.
And now, next in line is the man they're all talking about in the UK. 2nd in the World Championship. Let's just stay silent and hear the reaction for this young man. Wow!
Well, that is something extra special indeed for the world champion, Ty Woofenden. It's been a busy week for him, riding, raising money for charity for the Great Ormond Street Hospital. I've got to say, he has his feet haven't touched the ground this week, has it? But that is something extra special. What a fabulous reception for the champ.
And this guy who's leading the World Championship is very popular over in the UK as well, from the United States of America, twice world champion, and everybody loves this character, Greg Hancock.
Yeah, he is a very likeable character. He has got friends around the world. Listen to this, he's almost as good as the world champions. Greg Hancock now appears out. Yeah, he is such a likeable man. Leads the championship at the age of 44. I repeat, 44. That in itself is quite a remarkable record. Never missed the Grand Prix. He's a remarkable character, and I fancy that he could go very close this evening.
And now it'll be time for the British national anthem. We've heard the Welsh national anthem already just a little bit earlier, and the riders, I'm sure, have thoroughly enjoyed the experience of being brought out on parade. As a rider, how would you have enjoyed that, Kelvin?
Well, it's something very different, and I'm sure that riders have, but it's a big night, and I know from a rider's point of view they'll be very keen to get on with the racing as well.
Spectacular opening ceremony here at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Heat number 1 will be coming up soon. These riders, as Kelvin Tatum has just mentioned, literally cannot wait to get going. The World Championship trophy is here in this Millennium Stadium tonight as well, on the start-finish line, on display. That is what they're going for. This round number 7 of 12 rounds in the World Championship. Woofenden stands and looks at it. He wants it back. He wants it back in his cabinet at the end of this season.
Yeah, and he's got a very good chance to do so. He had started poorly this year and then turned his fortunes around. Could have In actual fact, won 3 Grand Prix on the spin, and just had a slight blip in park and just didn't quite get the setup of the bike spot on. Still picked up 9 points, but by his very high standards, that was a slightly disappointing return. But here in front of his home crowd, it's the fairy tale dream, isn't it? If he could win here this evening, that would be extraordinary, but it's going to be tough.
Well, yesterday, Ty Wolfenden led the way in a charity cycle ride. It was for Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity. It was supporters from around every British track as well that made their way out onto the bike ride with Ty Wolfenden. Jason Crump was involved, the legendary triple world champion, of course. Greg Hancock, the double world champion. The Australian racer Jason Doyle was involved as well. And these are nice shots, Kelvin, from yesterday as Ty leads fellow riders, retired riders, and a host of supporters. What an experience for those fans.
Absolutely, and again, it's all credit to Ty Wolfenden, you know, putting himself out there, enjoying himself, and for such a worthy cause. And once again, he's the real deal. He's the full package. When you think about how the expectations, look at the crowd here. It's absolutely packed to the hill, and he's got to go out there now and fight tooth and nail to try and get himself back to the front of the championship, and of course win this biggest speedway meeting in the world. Just a quick mention of the track. Brand new material here this year. Problems with the track surface last year. Looks a picture before Heat 1, that's for sure.
Looking forward to it. They're saying it's a record crowd here this year, nearly 50,000 here at the Millennium Stadium. The Wolfenden factor has certainly helped that, Kelvin, but it is a real entertaining night out, not just a speedway meeting in many ways. This, for me, Kelvin, as you well know, I've been to many other sporting venues in football around Europe and the world as well. But for me, this venue is simply stunning. It's still a very modern stadium, and it's right in the heart of the city centre with the restaurants, the bars. Everybody loves coming to Cardiff.
Yeah, it's a fabulous weekend for supporters. It was built back in 1999 for the Rugby World Cup, and it's been a real big hit. Of course, we've had football FA Cup finals here as when the Wembley was being rebuilt, but as a motorsport stadium they never could have imagined that it would have made such a good motorsport venue, but by golly it does. We have witnessed some extraordinary action here over the years. 2001 we came for the first time, and it's never failed to live up to the expectations.
World Championship standings, look how close it is. Greg Hancock 73, Ty Wolfenden's on 72, and then you have Niels Christian Iversen on 62 and Nicky Pedersen on 60. Zagar and Ward on 60 as well. Chris Holder, who won't ride tonight. Sadly, it appears as though Chris's hopes of being world champion this year have been done by injury. He's got a broken wrist and ruled out on Thursday of Cardiff. Such a shame for Chris Holder. 2 years on the trot, he's been injured, and we can only wish him well.
Absolutely nice, because Chris Holder's got a remarkable record here. Has won this Grand Prix on 2 occasions, and I know that he thoroughly enjoys riding in front of such a huge crowd, and injuries really have interrupted his progress over the last 2 seasons. Horrific injuries last year, and then an awkward accident in a Danish league fixture where he broke his wrist and he's had to have it plated 3 weeks ago. Not quite ready to make his return.
Heck of an opening ceremony, to be fair. It's different. It was different last year. They've done it again this year. They do really work hard to put on a show here.
Yeah, I know that we know the people involved, Nigel, and I'm sure that they were quite concerned and stressed about the opening ceremony this evening, but I think that worked very well.
Yeah, and here we see Michael Jepsen Jensen of Denmark coming in for a second successive Grand Prix. There's no doubt that he has the ability. He won in Voyens. He's shown his liking for the Grand Prix stage. There's the main man watching on and looking really chilled out.
Yeah, that in itself is quite remarkable, to remain so relaxed. It is a big night. I'm sure he'll be nervous once he pulls his helmet on and focuses on his first ride. Darcy Ward is now preparing himself for the opening race. He needs a big Grand Prix. He's been slightly off form in the last couple. I spoke to him briefly about his performance in the Parken Stadium and just said it was very slick that night and couldn't quite get the bike hooked up properly. We know how good he can ride because he won in Copenhagen in fine style last year. Jepsen Jensen, you've mentioned. Andreas Johnson needs to find something big here because he's languishing down, well down in the table. A rider that just a few short years ago was the world number 2. And Zagar, now a Grand Prix winner. You just know that he is the sort of rider that could make the final here.
Interesting that he gives the high five to all his pit crew. Here we go. First race of the night. The riders being pushed off, and this is a massive moment for them. The nerves will be jangling. They're desperate to get underway. So here we go. Down the back straight, the riders preparing for action. Andreas Jonsson, the man in the blue helmet colour, has plenty of experience on the Grand Prix stage. Darcy Ward, though, in yellow, making his debut here at the Millennium Stadium. So it's a big moment for him to get out here where he's got plenty of support, because he rides down at the Pool Pirates here in the UK. So he's got plenty of support as well. And desperate for a good night tonight. He's currently 6th in the World Championship standings, 13 points behind the lead. So a big night for Ward, and he can claw some of it back.
Yes, and he's more than capable of doing that. I mentioned that just a moment ago about the fact that he needs a big night. He's been disappointed in the last couple of Grand Prix where he's missed out on the opportunity to win. Comes from the outside gate here. That won't be easy in the early part of the meeting. It looks like it might ride a little slick in the opening couple of heats. Jepsen Jensen just hurrying himself round to the start line. He goes off the inside gate, and that could prove to be an advantage early doors. Riders will be nervous. It's been a huge introduction, a long introduction, a massive audience, probably the biggest audience we've ever seen here, and they'll be desperate to try and get on with the first race.
Here we go with the opening race, a massive moment in the Millennium Stadium, of course. These riders will be desperate to get underway. Michael Jepsen Jensen off the inside in red, the Dane, in for Chris Holder. Andreas Jonsson, gate 2 in blue. Matti Zegar, currently 5th in the world standings, ahead of Darcy Ward, who's in 6th place right now, and he's on the outside of him in the yellow helmet colour. Big moment for Darcy Ward, his first ever competitive race on the Millennium Stadium track.
Yeah, here we go. It's that's tense moments now, just waiting for that green light to come on, and you just got to trust yourself to drop the clutch at the right time. Here we go.
Tape tries. Craig Ackroyd is our referee, and it's a very tense first turn, and Ward has got there. What a move from gate number 4, and Jepsen Jensen is currently 2nd, with Andreas Jonsson 3rd and Matti Zegar at the back. But my goodness, Darcy Ward made it sweetly off gate number 4, swept across his rivals beautifully, and has the lead now.
Fabulous start from Darcy Ward. Didn't make a start like that 2 weeks ago all night long, and that was jet propelled from the outside. Fabulous ride from Ward out in front. It's got the race well and truly wrapped up. Jepsen Jensen missed it a little bit on the inside, but got to say it, he's riding a steady line. Jonsson charging hard in 3rd, and the surprise for me is Zegar not really at the races. Oh, Zegar's just moved off the line, and Jonsson pushing hard has to slam the door shut.
Yeah, Jepsen Jensen's out of shape on a couple of occasions, and that has allowed Andreas Jonsson to get closer, but no doubt about the race leader. Darcy Ward has got the race under control. He's a popular winner of the first heat. I know a lot of fellow Australians are here, the Kurtz brothers, Brady and Todd Kurtz. They're here. Nick Morris is here as well, who rides for Swindon and Somerset in the UK. So he's got plenty of Aussie support from his pals here tonight. And that was a great start from Ward from the outside gate, swept across beautifully.
Yeah, started in fine style. The bike absolutely brilliant to the first corner, and that's such a wonderful feeling as a rider, particularly on such a big night as this. Jet propelled to the first corner, faultless out in front.
Yep, Ward the winner, Jepsen Jensen, Jonsson and Zegar at the back. So finishing order then in the opening race of the night. Should add, by the way, the 2012 champion Chris Holder is here tonight as well. And no doubt he'll be pleased for his pal. But Darcy Ward in his debut ride in the Millennium makes it a winning ride.
Yeah, big 3 points for him, and he does it nicely from the start. He does the hard yards on that run to the first corner. To see the bike digging in there. He's comfortably in front, you know. This is a really good performance from him and could be a big night for him. Jepsen Jensen slips nicely into 2nd place, and Zegar's the loser. Just can't quite get the bike to get to the first corner, and he gets trapped on the outside here, and that allows Jonsson to slip through as well. And from that moment on, Zegar cannot land a blow. A lovely ride out in front from Ward. Couple of little mistakes there from Jepsen Jensen, and momentarily he is vulnerable to Jonsson, but just saves it and slams the door shut.
Now we have Nicky Pedersen out here in red in heat number 2. He's the pantomime villain. There's been national newspaper coverage in the UK for this meeting that hasn't been seen before in the last 2 decades.
No.
Ty Woffenden, one of the main reasons behind that. But Nicky Pedersen for sure has contributed to that, and a bit of a ding-dong with Woofy in the press. And he goes off the inside gate. There were plenty of boos for him when he was announced, but hey, every day of the week for me, I'd love to watch Nicky Pedersen to ride Speedway. Jarek Hampel goes off gate number 2 in blue. Craig Cook, the wild card. Massive moment for that young man off gate number 3. And Freddie Lindgren needs to get his campaign back on track because we go into the World Cup break after this. Lindgren off the outside.
Yeah, what a night it is for Craig Cook, and this is a tough race to come out in. A 3-time world champion on the inside gate, the world number 2 in the gate 2 alongside you, and a veteran of Grand Prix on the outside of you, so not an easy race for you to debut in, and gate 3 is not the ideal place to be starting from, but in Cook's favour, he is a good starter, and if he can just be relaxed enough to allow the bike to work, I hope he picks up plenty of points.
Here we go, heat number 2. Now, Nicky Pedersen makes it off gate number 1 and charging hard, Freddie Lindgren, and Craig Cook's in the mix. Craig Cook in white in second place. He's charging after Pedersen now. Lindgren comes through into third place with Hampel relegated to the back. The lead is with Nicky Pedersen. Craig Cook, the wild card of Great Britain, is holding a very respectable second spot. Lindgren chasing after him now down the back straight.
Fabulous first lap there from Nicky Pedersen. He used the inside gate beautifully. Brilliant stuff from Cook. Made a good start out of gate 3 and he's hiding a strong line in second place. This is a dream start for the wild card. The Bellevue ace man looking good in second place. The 3-time world champion, the pantomime villain, looking good out in front.
Has to be said as well that Craig Cook, with Alan Rossiter, the Great Britain manager in the stadium tonight, good performance from Cook, would surely race his way into the World Cup team for Great Britain at Kings Lynn 2 weeks tonight.
Good chance.
But Nicky Pedersen takes the victory, and Craig Cook holds on for second, with Freddie Lindgren third, and Jarek Hampel surprisingly at the back. But that was a fantastic move from the wild card. Craig Cook early on made a smart move, and he's got 2 points under his belt already.
He dropped the clutch at the right time. That was all important, and he would have been nervous, but fair play to him. He made a good start, and the bike worked very well. He had speed in second place. When he just relaxed a little bit, he was able to hang on to Nicky Pedersen. What a start for Cook.
Pedersen the winner with Craig Cook second. Freddie Lindgren was third, and Jarek Hampel at the back. That was a great ride from Pedersen, a masterful ride from the 3 times world champion who was off gate number 1 there, and Pedersen currently 4th in the World Championship, level 60 points with his fellow countrymen. I should say, by the way, it was Zagard and Ward, and he goes level with Ward on 63 now.
Well, Pedersen comes from the inside and he rides a perfect race here. He hugs the inside. Craig Cook there in the white helmet colour follows him through out of there, and he's up against tough opposition. Frederick Lindgren is really aggressive in the first part of the race and puts Cook under pressure, but cannot pass him, and Cook actually relaxes and finds more pace as the race comes to its conclusion. He'll be chuffed to bits. I'm absolutely sure he'll be delighted with that. I know that Pedersen's had some new equipment of late. He's been in good form, and this is a really strong ride from the 3-time world champion. Cook in second place, under a lot of pressure from Lindgren, rides a stormer.
We move on to heat number 3 next. By the way, heat number 4, it's the top 2 going head-to-head, with Greg Hancock off gate 2 and Ty Woffenden off gate 4 in heat number 4. Pedersen's pit crew, no doubt delighted with the start they've made. Plenty of speed there for Nicky Pedersen, and a smile on his face as well. Here in heat number 3, we have Niels Christian Iversen, 3rd in the World Championship before tonight. Troy Batchelor, who was magnificent in Copenhagen. Christoph Kasperzak is off the outside, and Great Britain's Chris Harris has got plenty of support, as you'd expect here tonight. Chris goes off gate number 2 in blue and looking for a big night on home shale.
Oh, he'd be delighted if he can really get amongst the points. He's just seen Craig Cook pick up 2, and I'm sure he'd be looking for a big start here.
Iversen goes off the inside. Harris goes off gate 2 in blue. Batchelor gate 3 in white. Can he have a repeat of Copenhagen tonight? And Christoph Kasperzak going off the outside in yellow. That's your lineup. What sort of night can Chris Harris have? He's found it tough in the GPs this season on his return to the series.
Yeah.
It's been a tough first half to the campaign, but my goodness, how he would love a big display tonight in the Millennium.
Well, the ideal setting for him. He has very fond memories of here, and he'll be looking for a big start here. Iversen on the inside will be a danger, the winner 2 weeks ago.
Here we go for heat number 3, and it's a good start from Iversen off the inside gate, and it's very tight in that first turn as Kasperzak goes wide. Iversen has the lead. Christoph Kasperzak is second down the pole. Harris is third on the inside line, and Batchelor's at the back, and Harris comes through challenging Kasperzak wheel to wheel down the home straight, but Kasperzak just gets the drop.
Yeah, Kasperzak ran too wide there and was very vulnerable. It was quite a hard first corner, and Harris was there challenging hard, and he's now gone to the back with Troy Batchelor charging up the inside. Batchelor will have to watch out because Harris comes pushing up the inside, and it's neck and neck for third place down the back straight. And Harris, fair play to him, he's battled his way back into third. Great stuff from Iversen, the inside gate working well. The winner 2 weeks ago looking comfortable out in front.
Iversen looking very smooth. He's a smooth operator, Niels Christian Iversen, into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And the man who rides for the Kings Lynn Stars here in the UK opens up with a victory ahead of Christoph Kasperzak. Chris Harris has never had to work harder for a single point.
It was
and
tough.
My goodness me, he got some fantastic cheers from the crowd, battling through for a point there for Harris, showing great determination. And at the back was Troy Batchelor. But Niels Christian Iversen, great stuff from him.
Yeah, he is the real deal, and he would have been boosted by the performance 2 weeks ago in the Parken Stadium. He'd missed out, he'd been frustrated in the early part of the season, just not quite clicking on the Grand Prix stage, but first final 2 weeks ago and he won it, and he won in style in his first ride here this evening.
Yep, so it was Iversen, Kasperzak, Harris was the finishing order. With Batchelor at the back, it was a hard-fought contest.
It was.
Heat number 3.
Yeah, we see Iversen and Harris. Harris just lifting momentarily there. That may have cost him a little bit because just gets squeezed a bit by Batchelor and Kasperzak, particularly coming across from the outside gate. Iversen allows the bike to run to the middle of the track, and then he dominates the race. Kasperzak early on runs too wide, and then he puts himself under pressure, but recovers well and then hangs on for second place. It's a hell of a battle for third place, and all credit to Harris. You know, he's having a tough time, but he shows tremendous commitment here to get the better of Troy Batchelor, who is in fabulous form in the Parken Stadium when he scored 20 points. But Iversen was the man. A great start. He'll be pleased with the 3 points.
Well, heat number 4, and it is Ty Woffenden in this one. We see Niels Christian Iversen there, winner of the last race. Fantastic start for him. Robbie Kessler, former rider in his pit corner, does great work with Iversen.
Yeah, he looks after all his bikes in the UK, riding for the Kings Lynn Stars, and Robbie, of course, a former rider, does a good job. Kings Lynn enjoying a terrific season. They are miles in front in the league table at this stage, but this heat 4 is a big lineup.
Yep, the top 2 riders in the world right now, Greg Hancock in blue and Ty Woffenden in yellow. What a fantastic lineup for heat number 4. After this race, every rider will have completed 1 ride. It's Kenneth Pierre off the inside in red. Gate 2 in blue is Greg Hancock. Gate 3, white, Martin Smolinski. And Ty Woffenden is the man off the outside gate in yellow. Ironic, Kelvin, that the draw for the numbers here tonight put the top 2 in the world up against each other in their first ride of the evening.
Yeah, it's can't predict these things, but yes, it's a head-to-head right from the word go for the 2 boys. It's almost a head-to-head in the 2-horse race in the World Championship. They have pulled away, but Woffenden will be feeling it a little bit now, be desperate to make a good start.
Hancock, one of the fastest starters in the world. Here we go. Heat number 4. Pierre's made a good one. Woffenden in yellow is going to go high and wide, and Pierre is going to take him out.
Whoa!
Woffenden has got there. How on earth did he manage that? And the roof has just gone off the top of the Millennium Stadium here. Second place is Martin Smolinski. Kenneth Pierre now battling for third with Greg Hancock. But my goodness, how on earth did Ty Woffenden avoid Pierre and take the lead there in heat number 4?
Well, he's looking good out in front. It was a touch of good fortune there because Pierre did lift violently and he got out of control, and Woffenden just had enough speed to slip round the outside. And when I talk about speed, look at him go out in front. Fantastic opening ride for the world champion in front of a huge home crowd, really cheering him on. Hancock's had to work overtime to get into third place.
Here we go, let's let the crowd bring him home. Ty Woffenden, the reigning champion, retakes the lead in the World Championship. Greg Hancock finished third, and Ty Woffenden has just punched the air with delight. Great scenes here. It's a great start for Woffenden. He's opened up with a win. He's had a week of wall-to-wall media coverage in the UK. And he has opened in some style and now leads the World Championship by 1 point over Greg Hancock. But a long, long way to go tonight, Kelvin.
Early doors, Nige, but what a great way to start the night. Fantastic reception, a superb effort. A hairy first corner, and he somehow managed to slip round the outside and then rode beautifully out in front. A classy ride.
Woofenden, the winner. And by the way, in Heat 5, it's Woofenden against Pedersen. 2 race winners. No love lost there, and it's coming up in Heat 5.
Oh, super ride from the world champion. Peter Johns, the engine tuner, in there with him, and he had a lot of speed. We'll see it again. Keep your eyes on the man in the red helmet colour, Pierre. Pierre now gets to the first corner, lifts there, runs square across the corner and pushes Woofenden wide, but Woofenden's just got enough speed to keep the momentum going and get himself around the outside. Hancock made a poor start. He was a little bit nervous on the start and didn't get a clean getaway. Woofenden's a touch fortunate, but hey, you need a bit of luck sometimes. He hits the front and rides a stormer out in front. That's the moment when it could have all gone pear-shaped there, but fortunately it doesn't, and the world champion pulls clear out in front. What a reception he received when he won that race. A great matchup coming in the next one, but Ty Woofenden, he's the real deal.
Well, I thought it was going to end in tears there with Pierre and Woofenden at one stage. He stayed on the
close,
bike
wasn't it?
Just a little bit. I think surprised Ty Woofenden hasn't gone for a change of underpants. But anyway, there you go. Darcy Ward's off to a great start as well, and he is with Jason Harold in the pits.
Well, Darcy Ward, you've never even ridden Cardiff before, save for practice. How did you find your first ride?
Yeah, nice start. Always good to get off the start of that. But, you know, gave the ball a lot better at track walk, and it's turned out to be not too bad at the start. So, you know, first time here, what a way to win.
I noticed earlier you're walking around in your shorts. You've got your blue tape on the knee. How is the knee holding up?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's just there for a bit of support. It's, you know, it's not as strong as it should be, but it is what it is. So it's got to deal with it. But like I said, it's not too bad.
A lot of your fans from Poole Pirates, who you ride for in the UK, of course, are here. What was the atmosphere like for the opener?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, this is England, and Poole is probably the best club in England, so a lot of people are here. So yeah, you know what, just got to enjoy it, and you know, it's good to see the crowd we got here. It's amazing to be a part of it.
All right, enjoyed watching you win. Thanks, Darcy.
We are actually in Wales, Darcy, not England. But anyway, just a small
forgive him
technicality.
that. He was a race winner.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Good start for him, though, wasn't it? He would have been feeling it, and he hasn't been at his best in Grand Prix recently, so the ideal way to start. It's a sensational turnout. The Woofenden factor has kicked in, and the people have come out in their droves, and it was reminiscent of 2007, that opening win from the world champion Ty Woofenden. The British fans really did show their appreciation for the heat win from Ty.
I think he's not always been universally popular, but I think he's won so many people over with what he's done, Ty Woofenden.
Well, he's a changed character,
exactly,
isn't he?
Yeah. And what we've got next, Kelvin.
I'm not sure this man's a changed character. It's they've had a very public spat between the two of them, Nicky Pedersen and Ty Woofenden, and they go head-to-head in Heat 5. Woofenden has back-to-back races here. Plenty of track grading going on as we speak. The track behaved itself perfectly in the opening 4 races. I've got to say, the new material looks superb. Woofenden will go from the inside gate. That's no bad thing. Pedersen comes out of gate 3. Pedersen's full of confidence right now. He won a big meeting on the continent very recently, and he's scoring a lot of points in the leagues. And I'd say he's got a lot of new equipment, and he looks pretty tidy right now, Pedersen. So, yeah, it won't be easy to beat him.
Well, Peter Adams, who's part of Ty Woofenden's team, down there in the pits studying the programme, and it is ironic that Woofenden against Pedersen is coming up so early in this meeting. They've had a bit of a spat on Twitter. They've had a spat in the newspaper, the national press today as well. One of the major red top nationals in the UK has really gone to town with Nicky Pedersen today. It's all good publicity for the sport, though, Kelvin.
Well, I can't remember the last time it's happened. It's probably more than 20 years ago when the sport has had such wall-to-wall coverage in the red tops. And fair play. It's resulted in a great turnout and the spotlight on the sport this week. And if Ty Woofenden can pull off a big performance here, we'll all go home with a big smile on our face, because sport, particularly with the World Cup, hasn't been that kind to us, has it? So Ty Woofenden can bring the good feel factor back to us if he can keep the momentum going tonight.
Very much so. It is a fantastic crowd here tonight. People from all over the UK have made the journey down or up, wherever they've come from, but There's a lot of people from Poland as well, and Germany.
Australia.
Australia. Quite a few of them here tonight as well.
Yeah, we had lots of Australians as we were just preparing ourselves for the broadcast, and they were coming in their droves, very keen to have photos and autographs, and yeah, a really good turnout from them.
With you, but not with me.
Oh, come on, mate. You know, do yourself a favour. They looked at you once or twice and then asked me who you were.
That's true. Fair comment. Can't argue with that. We hope you are enjoying us. If you're watching us in Australia, which will be the morning, and it is an earlier start, of course, to the GP. It's 5 o'clock UK start. It's normally
probably about
6
midnight.
Yeah,
midnight, something like that. 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on where you are in Australia.
Might be just be coming in after a good night out. If that's the case, we're jealous.
I am jealous. In Australia, they have plenty of good nights out, and they know how to enjoy themselves. And Darcy Ward started in fine style for them. Troy Batchelor disappointed in his first ride, and he'll be keen to turn his fortunes around. So impressive 2 weeks ago, and 20 points has given himself a lifeline in the Grand Prix if he can pick up some double-figure score again here. He'd found GP tough up until that point. Pedersen's ready to go. Look, he's buoyed by that first race. He's twitching away, always does, fiddling with his goggles, twitching around, nervous character. 37 years old, 3-time world champion, still hungry as ever for success.
So here come the riders. Heat number 5 is coming up next. Ty Woffenden in red and Nicky Pedersen in white. Fair to say they are deadly rivals out there on the track right now. Ty 23 years of age, Nicky 14 years older. He should know better at his age than get involved with young riders like Ty Woffenden. But hey, it's Motorcycle Speedway, it's the World Championship, and it is a real rivalry with no quarter asked or given. Heat number 5. And my goodness me, this Millennium Stadium offers us some fantastic entertainment. And there'll be some mind games going on right now, Kel.
Yeah, Pedersen's pretty focused, as is Woofenden, but they'll be aware that this is a big race and what's gone on before. And there's no doubt that the rivalry, there's no love lost there. Teams keenly looking on. Batchelor doing a lot of gardening on the start line. This is a big Heat 5 coming up.
Here we go with heat number 5. 1 or 2 mind games that are creeping in here. Woofenden, Pedersen, the great rivals, but don't rule out Jepsen, Jensen and Batchelor. Woofenden off the inside, Jepsen, Jensen off 2, Pedersen off 3 and Batchelor off the outside. 2 race winners so far, Woofenden and Pedersen. They've had a real ding-dong in the press and on social media as well. It's no love lost, genuine rivalry, and this could well be pure theatre, heat number 5.
Yeah, it could very well be. And Jepsen Jensen, a word about him. He denied Nicky Pedersen his first Grand Prix win in his home country, of course, when Jepsen Jensen stole the victory away 2 years ago in Voyens, when it looked all for that Pedersen would win that night. This is a big race. Can Woofenden reproduce what he did first time out?
Heat number 5. Woofenden off the inside gate makes a good one in red. Now switching up the inside is Jepsen Jensen. Pedersen's back in 3rd. At the back is Troy Batchelor, and Woofenden has that lead.
Whoa.
And now here comes Pedersen. Almost collects his fellow countryman Jepsen Jensen, and he's gone to the back. And now Pedersen charges up the inside of Troy Batchelor. Oh, I thought he was going to collect him there. But Woofenden is the leader here of heat number 5. He is on fire tonight, all right.
Well, he's the big benefactor there with Pedersen throwing himself around. He charges into 3rd place. Very nearly took Jepsen Jensen earlier on in the race with a really hard move into turn 3. You're right, Woofenden is fired up, looking fantastic, out in front, 2 starts, looking for back-to-back victories here to move on to 6 points. The world champ looking brilliant.
Flags are flying, crowd are delighted, the British fans bring him home! 2 rides, 2 wins! He is number 1, he's world number 1, and Ty Woofenden has made it 6 points out of 6, and already he is just a couple of points away from a place in the semi-finals here at the Millennium Stadium, and this stadium is jubilant. 50,000 fans delighted that their hero has opened up with 2 fantastic wins, one against the series leader and one against his great rival. Not too shabby early on, Kelv.
Dream start for the world champion here. He's got the draw where he has consecutive races and he makes them count. He is ahead of the game. Heat 5, he picks up his 2nd win on the night. Perfect out in front, so relaxed on the bike.
Woofenden the winner, Jepsen Jensen 2nd. Nicky Pedersen a hard-fought 3rd ahead of Troy Batchelor, who finished at the back there. And Ty Woofenden, 6 points from 2 rides. And to be fair, Michael Jepsen Jensen and Nicky Pedersen still not bad. 4 points from 2 rides.
Steady.
That's satisfactory.
Yeah, steady start from the 2 Danish riders, but Pedersen was very forceful out there and very nearly collided with 2 riders. Bit of a debrief going on in the Woofenden camp rather, but we're seeing it again. Woofenden on the inside makes a smashing start, allows the bike to run to the middle of the corner. There's all sorts of action going on. Now watch this. I thought for a moment that Pedersen was just going to run straight into the side of Jepsen Jensen, and at the very last minute he pulls the locker and goes to the back, and Troy Batchelor gets into 3rd place. It is tight into turn 3 the first time. May have even just rubbed up the side of Jepsen Jensen. But this man at the moment is in inspired form. Was out of form 2 weeks ago in the Parken Stadium. Back-to-back wins so far, looking like it could be a big night for the world champion.
Absolutely flying, but of course we have to emphasise, as we did with Troy Batchelor in Copenhagen, you can win all your 5 qualifying heats, but it doesn't guarantee you a win on the night because it's all about the grand final. But in the context of the World Championship, all about being top scorer tonight, and if you can win on the night as well, the grand final itself, then that'll be a big bonus in the British Grand Prix. Quite a lineup here now. Heat number 6. Terrific lineup it is. Greg Hancock goes off the inside in red. Niels Christian Iversen gate 2 in blue. Andreas Jonsson off gate 3, and Craig Cook, who started well tonight, is off the outside in yellow. Smashing lineup here. Yeah,
it is a smashing lineup, and Hancock will be looking to bounce back with a win. He was a little bit twitchy on the start line in his first ride and didn't quite get away as cleanly as he would have liked. And a lot of his performances stem from the fact that he can make jet-propelled starts. He's got the inside gate this time, but he's up against a real man in form. Iversen in gate 2 and Cook on the outside. Can he pick up some more points now?
Here we go. Heat number 6 of the British Grand Prix here. Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, and Hancock smooth as you like away from the start on the inside gate. Now Jonsson coming high and wide around the outside.
Whoa!
Great ride from the man in white, Andreas Jonsson, but Hancock takes him wide, and Hancock knows how to ride this track. He's ridden in every single British Grand Prix, and that was a beautiful ride to race Jonsson out of it, and Niels Christian Iversen battling away as well with Cook at the back. But Kelvin, that was masterful from Greg Hancock.
Yeah, that was a masterclass of the opening lap because it came under a lot of pressure of Jonsson. Jonsson actually got round him momentarily, but Hancock was able to respond and got himself back to the front. Then Iversen put Jonsson under pressure. Jonsson's now got to the front. What's going on? Has Hancock got a problem? Seemed to just slow momentarily, and then from nowhere he must have a problem because Iversen's going by. Must be a problem with the bike. That's a shame for Greg Hancock.
First to third, that doesn't happen for Greg Hancock.
I think he might have a puncture. Well, something's not right. There was a loss of power midway through that race. Fortunately, he picked up 1 point. Should have been 3. I'm sure in the course of time we will find out what his issue was, but the benefactor is Andreas Jonsson. He'd be very welcome for that. Points have been hard to come by for him.
Well, there must have been, you're quite right, Kevin, there must have been something wrong there because
suddenly
Greg
slowed,
Hancock
didn't he?
Doesn't do that, no, absolutely. And I'm sure we'll get word from down in the pits as to what happened with Greg Hancock there. Was there something wrong with the bike? Jonsson the winner, Iversen second, Hancock third, and Craig Cook at the back on that occasion. So it means that Greg Hancock and Craig Cook are level on 2 points each. Woofenden leads the GP, Iversen on 5 and Jonsson on 4. But we're seeing Jonsson here, but would like to see Greg Hancock, really.
Yeah, sure, because I didn't know whether he had a puncture or the engine was just slowing. We're seeing it again. Hancock initially out of gate 1 makes a good start, but comes under a lot of pressure early doors from Andreas Jonsson. And Jonsson had a lot of speed here down the back straight, and as they enter turns 3 and 4 in the opening lap, he did momentarily get his nose in front, but early in the race, Hancock was able to respond and got himself back to the front. But then suddenly out of nowhere, there seems to have been a loss of power, a loss of performance from the motorbike, and he slips back into 3rd place. It's not evident, it's difficult to see, suddenly they're just running wide, and Jonsson then able to slip up the inside, and Iversen then very shortly afterwards does something quite similar, and I'm sure there must be some furious work going on in the pit of Greg Hancock.
Well, the inquest begins. Hancock talking to Travis McGowan, a former rider himself, Trav.
Tough start, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 points out of 2 rides when you've just seen your main competitor in the championship score maximum points from the first 2 rides. But Hancock, he's a wily old character. We've seen him turn his fortunes around.
Made a great start.
Oh yeah, he's in good form. He just must have had an issue there.
And the ride as well, where he saw off Jonsson as well, was brilliant, the way he held the line on the track.
First part of the race, he was fully up to speed and plenty of horsepower. It vanished halfway through the race.
Heat number 7 coming up now then. Here's Zagar, who started off with the last place. In fact, 3 riders here, Bier, Hampel and Zagar, who have failed to score in their opening ride. Chris Harris has got a point to his name, and he's off gate number 1. Can Chris Harris make it count off the inside of his home GP? Harris off the inside, Kenneth Bier gate 2 in blue, Jarek Hampel gate 3 in white, and Matti Zagar off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, 2 riders here you would not have expected to have failed to score in their opening ride. Hampel is inconsistent this year, and so it's proved here again this evening. He failed to score first time out, as did Zagar, who has also been in terrific form. But this is a good opportunity, as you rightly point out, Nigel, that with Harris on the inside, you know, if Harris can just make a good getaway here, he has an excellent chance of getting well and truly involved in the points. Good opportunity for the Brit.
Been a few close shaves so far. Riders almost coming to grief, but thankfully the boys have stayed on the motorbike so far. But this is Grand Prix Speedway. Anything can happen. 1 or 2 issues at the starting gate at the moment.
Yeah, the tapes just broke there with the riders digging around, just pushing their front wheels up against the tape, and it just snapped. So they've just used the reserve set. Won't be long before we get underway. Start marshal now just gesturing for riders to come forward. Temporary tracks, the starting area does rut up quite quickly, so it's important that you pick the right place to make sure you get the best getaway.
Phil Morris, part of Chris Harris's pit crew, watching on here. Phil from South Wales and here at his local track, and now Harris has made a good one. Can Harris get there? Harris has the lead now in the early stages of heat number 7, and he's kicking on down the back straight. Chris Harris of Great Britain has the lead. Second place is Jarek Hampel. Zagar is third, and Kenneth Bier at the back. But my goodness, this is going to raise the roof of the Millennium as well, because Chris Harris of Great Britain is kicking on beautifully.
Yeah, fabulous lap and a half for Chris Harris. The inside gate has come to his rescue. Looking good out in front. Jarek Hampel settles in second place, and Zagar, not enjoying a good night so far, is back in third, and Bier is disappointing out the back, but this is a super effort from Harris. He's endured a torrid season so far. It's been torturous at times. He's out in front of his home crowd, looking like he's going to win this race.
Down the back straight he goes, and he is going to raise the roof. It's Chris Harris of Great Britain. What a ride for Chris Harris. Fantastic stuff from him. 4 points from 2 rides, and he is overjoyed with that. He's going to have a beaming smile on his face under that crash helmet. Look at him, he punches the air. Relief, I'm sure, the order of the day for Harris. He's getting a great reception here. Fantastic ride. Could that be the moment where he is inspired towards a semi-final push? Chris Harris, well done him.
Let's hope so. He has had a hard time this year, and he's found points tough to come by, but used the inside gate, and once he hit the front there was no stopping him.
Yep, great to see him. That was a magnificent ride from Chris Harris, and it means that he moves into a semi-final spot on 4 points now. Great ride. Hampel only on a couple of points, and there's a few...
Doesn't look that convincing to me so
doesn't.
far.
Absolutely.
He was struggling in second place. He had no answer to the speed of Harris out in front, and the world number 2 once again not quite at his best. Delighted for Chris Harris. When you consider how successful Ty Woofenden has been in such a short period of time. Harris has been around for some time, and he's been finding Grand Prix really difficult, but he gets there, allows the bike to charge into the first corner. Hampel on the outside looking for that big swoop, but he can't handle the speed of Harris. Harris there, you can see how determined he is on the bike, winding it on, thoroughly enjoys this ride and fully deserves to celebrate. And the home crowd really congratulate him in grand style. Pleased for Harris, that was a good ride.
Absolutely right. The Union Jacks flags flying high. Go on, Chris, give us a smile. It's a fantastic ride.
Nearly. It's early doors. I'm sure he'll be looking for one or two more. But you were right, Nigel. I would suggest there's a certain amount of relief involved in that as well. But no better place to win a Grand Prix race than in front of your home crowd in the Millennium Stadium.
He knows how it's done.
Yes, exactly, he does.
That moment in 07 will be right up there in history of Grand Prix Speedway.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to beat that round here, that's for certain. Ward's out here, Nige. He's on the inside. He was very impressive first time out, wasn't he?
He certainly was. He was from the outside at his opening gate. Now he's off the inside gate as well as we build up to heat number 8. After this race, every rider will have completed 2 of their 5 rides. And the top 8, of course, in the GP go through to the semi-finals. Ward off the inside in red. Freddie Lindgren goes off gate 2 in blue. Kasperzak off 3. Smolinski off the outside. Here we go with heat number 8. Green light on, Tate tries, and Ward's made a decent start off the inside gate.
Whoa.
Lindgren goes wide and takes out Kasperzak. How's he stay on the bike as Smolinski comes through? 3 riders going for it. Kasperzak nearly ended up in the fence at the back, but Ward has the lead now. Coming through into second is Smolinski. Freddie Lindgren is the rider in third in blue, and he comes round the outside. Good race on for second. Ward's gone!
Suddenly, out of nowhere, Ward lifted and just falls off the mat of the bike. Frederick Lindgren out of shape with Martin Smolinski riding a strong race around the inside in second place. Smolinski, how on earth didn't they clash there? Got a feel for Ward because he had that one under control. The benefactors are Lindgren and Smolinski. Kasperzak just about hanging on to his motorbike, back in third place.
Well, I'm just pleased that the other riders avoided Darcy Ward there. That could have been nasty, but Freddie Lindgren, Fast Freddie as they know him, kicking on here. And he's going to get 3 big points here, Freddie Lindgren of Sweden, ahead of Martin Smolinski, and Christoph Kasperzak was third. But for Darcy Ward, it's a walk back to the pits, wondering what might have been.
He was very fortunate. You've hit the nail on the head. He was very fortunate he didn't get run over because it happened so quickly that the bike leapt up underneath him and he had no choice but to get off the back of it. And Martin Smolinski and Freddie Lindgren did remarkably well to miss him. Got a feel for Ward because that was looking like his second consecutive race win. He'd made a good start from the inside.
Lindgren, Smolinski, Kasperzak and Ward. Drama here at Cardiff as Darcy Ward crashes out of heat number 8. But it's Ty Woffenden, the maximum man, after 8 races.
Well, by and large, the track has behaved itself very well, but it certainly caught out Darcy Ward in that last race. Ashley Holloway there, the engine tuner for Freddie Lindgren, just congratulating his man. Ward initially makes a super start. Kasperzak's lucky here. He gets himself very wide. It's a bit, they got pushed out quite wide, and he struggles to hang on to the bike. Then it's a real fight for second and third, but Ward then just hits that berm of dirt and goes down suddenly, and he's a touch fortunate that he drifts to the outside of the track and Lindgren was able to miss him. Smolinski doing that inside work, and he also gets a little bit out of shape and could have run into the side of Frederick Lindgren. Bit of disappointment for the Australian, who started in very impressive style in his opening ride from gate 4, but Lindgren will be happy to have picked up a race win.
Riders like Zagar and Hancock struggling on 2 and 1 respectively. Jarek Hampel only 2 points. There's some big names that are struggling here.
They are, and Hampel, you've mentioned, Greg Hancock is the one that has started slowly tonight, and he'll need to sort that out, but partly I think that's because he had some mechanical issue which we haven't got to the bottom of. But yeah, big hitters outside the top 8 at this early stage.
Yeah, we are still waiting for news on Greg Hancock, and if there was a problem indeed with that ride a little bit earlier on, fans from all over the UK here at the Millennium Stadium tonight. It really is great to see such a big crowd here following the Speedway, the British Grand Prix. We've had 8 races. Every rider has now completed 2 rides apiece, and Woffenden, the man of the moment, no doubt about it.
Yeah, textbook stuff, a masterclass from the world champion so far, and when you consider how the expectations have been, it's been a remarkable performance from him.
Well, let's hear from Ty Woffenden now with Jason Harold.
Well, Ty Woffenden, I think the word back to you is sweet. Just how sweet were those 2 wins?
Yeah, really good. You know, made a couple of starts, and that's half the battle here tonight. So I'll keep trying to do that, and you know, look to try and get a podium at the end of the night. But the main thing for me tonight is raising money for Great Ormond Street. We've got a great opportunity here, and you know, I'd love for every single one of you to please get your phone out, text WOFF60 to 770 and the amount you want to donate. Thanks very much, guys.
I know that being world champion and retaining that means everything to you, but what does it mean to help the kids of Great Ormond Street Hospital?
You know, I went in there probably about a month back, and all these kids are so sick and so ill, and you know, they've all got a smile on their face. You know, there wasn't one kid that didn't have a smile on his face, and it was so like inspirational. You know, I said it before, you see people who say, oh, I'm gonna have a few days off work, so I've got a cold, you know, try and get an appointment at Great Ormond Street to go check the kids out, because you know, it's amazing. But again, please text WOFF60 to 770 and the amount you would like to donate. Thank you.
Great effort, Ty, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's a marvellous cause, and the Great Ormond Street, I'm sure, are very grateful for Ty Woofender's efforts. Niels Christian Iversen.
Niels Christian Iversen 5 punktów, a więc całkiem przyzwoity początek, można powiedzieć, jeśli chodzi o te zawody. No i widać, że Niels pod dachem spisuje się całkiem nieźle i te tory mu pasują. Niels, 5 points already, it's pretty good at the beginning, and we can say that indoor tracks suits you very well.
So far, so good. You know, still a long way to go. I had 2 starts now, gate 1 and 2, and you know, I think it looks a bit harder from when you get moved to the outside position. So yeah, we'll have to keep focused and get points.
Do tej pory naprawdę idzie dobrze, mówi Niels Christian Iversen. Pierwsze 2 starty z pierwszych 2 pól wewnętrznych, z tych zewnętrznych może być troszeczkę gorzej. Musimy pozostać po prostu skupieni i kolekcjonować cały czas te punkty. No i pytanie, które zawsze zadajemy sobie w Cardiff, czyli kondycja toru, która dzisiaj raczej jest w porządku. Niels, and there is one question about the track condition, because always in Cardiff there was some kind of, let's say, moaning about the track. It wasn't the best, but this time it looks pretty good.
Yesterday I would say it was better yesterday, to be honest. There's getting a few ruts and holes out there now, but
yep,
I'm sure
very much so. But Iversen has really come of age over the last couple of years, really, when it comes to his speedway career. He's dedicated himself to his fitness, and Niels Christian Iversen is genuine world class, and surely has got a world title in him.
Wouldn't surprise me if he pushes for the title this year. In actual fact, he's that type of rider. We saw him when he got on a roll of confidence last year. He was like a freight train. He just kept coming and coming, and he didn't want the season to finish, did he? But certainly he's won a Grand Prix a little bit earlier this year, so he could well be a major threat in the second half of the campaign.
Thank you very much and good luck then.
Thank you.
Dziękuję bardzo. Pozostało jeszcze kilka wyścigów, mówi Niels, ale
So Niels Christian Iversen talking to our Polish colleagues there. Every rider now has completed 2 rides, so we look to build up to heat number 9 now. And some good stuff. Some good stuff here at the Millennium Stadium. Let's hear from Chris Harris now.
Well, Chris Harris, you just said to me before we came on camera you needed that. How badly?
Definitely only the second win of the season for me, so needed it. No better place in front of your home crowd.
Those home supporters cheering you all the way to the checkered flag. Can you hear them through your helmet?
Not really, I was trying to concentrate, but you can drop here and there. So yeah, it's a great support, and you know, we thank them for all the support they're giving us.
Tell us about getting out the start, because what a start you made.
Yeah, I knew we'd had one of the good starts, so I just needed to get my nose in front. I know I'd be quick, so just got to keep it going for the last few.
Do that. Cheers, Bomber.
Cheers, Top.
Good stuff from Chris Harris. You know, he made the start when he needed it. He had the favoured gate and he didn't miss out, and that's encouraging for him. He needs to now back it up. We've got Craig Cook, heat 9, coming up off the inside as well.
Well, Greg Hancock, tell us a bit about what happened. You were leading, then you ended up 3rd. What happened?
Yeah, man, I just thought I got out there and got away from it, but I suddenly felt like I was lacking some speed and fighting hard just to hold a good line. And yeah, I got passed by both guys. It's a big disappointment, but got to get back and fix it quick.
2/3. You need to battle a bit to get to the semis now.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a battle all the way through. So 3 heats to go, and got to make the most of them.
All right, Greg, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've seen this with Greg earlier this year, where he's actually failed to score from a couple of points, a couple of rides. And
so Chris Harris then going here in the yellow helmet colour, heat number 9, and can Chris Harris add to his win in his last outing? 2 British riders in heat number 9 coming up here. Cook off gate number 1 in red. Chris Harris off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, Craig.
Smolinski in blue and Jepsen Jensen in white here. Heat number 9 coming up, Kel. Battle of the Brits here.
Yeah, I'll be pleased if Craig Cook can pick up a win here. He failed to score last time, but he's got the favoured inside gate, and I'm sure he'll be very keen to build on the 2 points he scored in his first ride. Harris from the outside must be full of confidence after that last ride, and Jepsen Jensen will be a danger. He's looked pretty solid so far this evening. So yeah, opportunities here, and at this stage of the night, going into your third ride, you need to try and build on what you've got, what your foundations you've put in place. So for Cook, still an opportunity for the top 8. The inside gate, I've got to say, must have a chance of picking up a win.
Here we go then, heat number 9, 2 British riders off the inside and the outside, about to do battle here in Cardiff. Heat number 9, Craig Cook going off the inside, dead in the red helmet colour. Martin Smolinski, gate 2 in blue. Michael Jepsen Jensen goes off gate 3 in white from Denmark. And Chris Harris, a winner last time out, he goes off the outside in yellow. Can Harris make it count off the outside gate this time?
Well, we've seen him do it, but he does need to make a decent start because the track is still quite difficult to overtake on. And he had a lot of speed in his previous race when he won, but it's not always easy to utilise that if you're stuck in 3rd or 4th place. Cook's the interesting one here for me. He is renowned for his starting, and he must have been pleased with his first race where he really settled nicely in 2nd place behind Nicky Pedersen. Woofenden looking remarkably relaxed tonight. Big smiles for the world champion so far. Well, they settle down for heat number 9.
Heat number 9 it is then here of the British Grand Prix. Tapes rise, Cook's been left virtually standing at the start. Jepsen Jensen has that lead early on, and here comes Harris around the outside. Can Chris Harris get the drive? Now he's going to switch up the inside. Super ride, but for Jepsen Jensen, he holds the lead. With Chris Harris second, Martin Smolinski third, and Craig Cook at the back, who was left standing at the start line there. But Harris is having a go. He won't give up here, Kel.
No, it's a smooth opening lap from Jepsen Jensen. I've got to say, I thought for a moment that Harris might be able to get up the inside. Jepsen Jensen's riding a brave line there. He's leaving racing room for Harris. If Harris could find a little bit more, he might be able to get through, but Jepsen Jensen's a classy act, we know that, and is beginning to stretch his legs out in front, but Harris is there. There's a lap to go. Harris here, building on that 3 points last time. This is all right.
Yep, Jepsen Jensen riding well here, but for Harris this will put him onto 6 points with 2 heats still to go for him, and him with a great chance of a semi-final spot. Jepsen Jensen with a fine ride. Michael Jepsen Jensen, who is only in as a replacement for Chris Holder, remember, but he's riding pretty well with Smolinski in 3rd place and Craig Cook trailing at the back there. What it means is that Jepsen Jensen is on 7 points already, and he's looking good for a semi-final spot.
Yeah, made the semi-finals 2 weeks ago on 8 points. He had 4 second places and a 0, but he's been solid so far tonight, and he's a class act. He's returning to the sort of form he had 2 years ago.
Jepsen Jensen from Harris, from Smolinski, from Cook, a finishing order, heat number 9. It means that Jepsen Jensen now leads on 7 from 3. Woofenden's got a race in hand. Woofenden and Harris level on 6 points apiece. It's a good night for the British boys there.
Good news.
Craig Cook struggling there in that heat though.
Yeah, pleased for Chris Harris. He backs up that win with a fine 2nd place behind this man who has been, once again, very impressive at this level. He rides very calmly and smoothly. We see Harris coming from the outside. Can't quite get there because it's a jet-propelled start from Jepsen Jensen out of gate 3, and I don't think there's been many heat winners from gate 3, but I tell you what, look at that rut there, and the bike does the work for him nicely. Gets in front of Martin Smolinski. He's a little bit vulnerable early on in the race because here we see it early on. I thought Harris might have been able to get up the inside, and Jepsen Jensen trusts his equipment here. He rides just off the line and he gently builds his pace as the race comes to its conclusion. Good ride from the Danish rider and a strong ride for Harris back in 2nd place.
Here we go with heat number 10 coming up here now then, and Michael Jepsen Jensen, 7 points. What a great return for him. No wonder he's got a smile on his face. Yep.
He must be pleased. He had a very nasty injury at the beginning of the year where he had thigh and groin muscles that were torn, and he struggled with his fitness, but on the evidence of his riding tonight, I think he's back to full fitness.
Heat number 10 it is. It's Christoph Kasperzak off the inside gate in red. Nicky Pedersen gate 2 in blue. Kenneth Bier yet to score off 3. Andreas Jonsson goes off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Big race for a lot of these riders because this is their third outing, and you need around 8 points to get into the semi-finals.
Yeah, this is a race where you can, or the round of heats, where you can really make a move in the Grand Prix. And Pedersen, who won in fine style in his opening race, then struggled a little bit last time out. Kasperzak could be a danger man for him on the inside, but Pedersen is a good starter. Jonsson also last time out, Nigel, was pretty quick.
Here we go, heat number 10, the halfway stage of the qualifiers, and Kasperzak's made a good one off the inside gate. Oh, Nicky Pedersen squares up and almost loses it there as Jonsson comes around the outside. A real battle here with Andreas Jonsson in yellow. Kasperzak, though, goes wide, but Jonsson keeps it wound on. What a ride from the Swede, but Kasperzak again takes him wide. Pedersen third and Bier at the back.
Yeah, good opening lap of Speedway because Jonsson had a lot of speed around the outside there, and Kasperzak had to really dive deep into turns 1 and 2. On the second time of asking, and he settles nicely. Kasperzak has publicly said he's fully fit, looking for a big night, and is riding well here. Jonsson got pace in second place. They've dropped Pedersen. Bier's having a nightmare. He's out the back, but Pedersen's just not fast enough here. Kasperzak, under pressure from Jonsson, should hang on.
Oh, Jonsson getting even closer. One big swoop for AJ, but Kasperzak's held a good line. Now Jonsson's going to try the inside, but Kasperzak hangs on. That was a good speedway race, actually. Kasperzak the winner from Jonsson in second, and Nicky Pedersen only third place, and he's on to 5 from 3 rides.
No speed at all there. Made a reasonable start, but got shoved wide in the first corner, and Pedersen could not maintain the pace of this man out in front. And Jonsson also probably was the quickest rider out there, but couldn't make his way past Christoph Kasperzak, who rides a strong race. And a very useful 3 points for the Pole, who was in sparkling form earlier this year.
He was, and it puts him on to 6. Jonsson second there with Pedersen third. And what it means overall now is that we have Woffington, Kasperzak, Jonsson, Harris all on 6 points. Nicky Pedersen into the top 8 on 5, but only just. And there are riders just below Pedersen with races in hand. Freddie Lindgren, Darcy Ward. And heat number 12, by the way, Woffington, Ward, Everson and Hampel. My goodness.
Looking forward to that one, Nigel. That looks quite tasty indeed. And Kasperzak delighted with that. Had to hang on in the end because Jonsson has got a lot of pace. Not only at the end of the race, but early in the race. Jonsson looked like he might just be able to get round the outside. Look at this, he's on the outside. Kasperzak now having to respond because Jonsson's coming hard and fast. And as they go over the start and finish line here, it looks like that Jonsson might well be able to get himself to the front. Nicky Pedersen has a bumpy ride in that first corner and loses momentum, and then really doesn't land a blow, and only hangs on for third place. But it's the second lap. This is where we need to see it. Kasperzak now lets the bike run hard across in front of Jonsson, and Jonsson just gets balked, filled in a little bit, and that kind of seals the deal for KK, who picks up a very useful point, 3 points.
Yep, good ride then from Christoph Kasperzak. Good speedway there in heat number 10. Good
Tough
to
speedway,
watch.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fair though, fair.
Yeah, Kasperzak, who we know can ride this place quite beautifully, and he did do there.
He did, he rode nicely, and he's been on the rostrum. He's finished second here. Of course, everybody wants to win in the Millennium Stadium. Maybe his night, but this is a big ride here now, Nigel, for Greg Hancock.
Yep, the heat number 11. Freddie Lindgren off the inside in red. Troy Batchelor, gate 2 in blue. Matty Zagar, gate 3 in white. Greg Hancock off the outside. I didn't catch all of the interview. Did we get whether there was a problem for Greg in his previous
I still don't know what the issue is. It's a shame. It's not quite sure, but certainly there must have been some investigations going on, and it's now crunch time for the Greg Hancock, who's now 3 points behind Ty Woffington in the championship chase. Needs a big start from the outside.
Yes, he does. He's off the outside gate then. Greg Hancock.
Oh,
and a bit of movement there. Batchelor at the start. And the referee has allowed the race to continue because Batchelor has punished himself there. Coming around the outside is Greg Hancock in yellow. Second place in red here is Freddie Lindgren of Sweden now. Zagar is third. And Batchelor's at the back here. But the lead is with Greg Hancock of the United States. That's more like it.
Yeah, he was doing this in the previous race, wasn't he? And then suddenly he ran out of speed. but this time he rides an absolute stormer to hit the front. Lindgren's back in second place. Zagar's having a poor night, and Troy Batchelor, after such a wonderful display 2 weeks ago, is having a nightmare, hasn't scored a point so far. Hancock, he looks really good here, Nigel. Looks like the bike's flying.
Yep, riding beautifully into the final lap. This is more like it from Greg Hancock. This will put him on to 5 points, and he's still got a couple to go. Lindgren's lost control, but he's still got a big enough lead as Zagar tries hard in third here, and Batchelor's having a nightmare tonight. But Greg Hancock, superb. Normal service resumed for Herbie Hancock. Takes that checkered flag in heat number 11, and that puts him on to 5 points. He needed that, Kelvin.
He did indeed. We built it up before that race, and he responds. We know the third round of heats are vitally important for your chances, and he just gives a wave to the crowd because he appreciates their support. Very likeable man, of course, Greg Hancock, a two-time world champion, and shows why. Showed a lot of class there, a lot of character, came up with a really important win. Very useful.
Yep, Greg Hancock the winner with Freddie Lindgren second there. Third was Matti Zagar. This is what it means. Greg Hancock moving on to 5 points now. Level with Niels Christian Iversen and Nicky Pedersen. Iversen's got a race in hand though, and what a lineup heat number 12 promises to be. But Hancock was superb right from the start.
Yeah. And
had the race under control.
Yeah, it was super stuff. There was an unsatisfactory start, but the referee does the right thing here, Craig Ackroyd, because Batchelor, nervous, is having a hard night, was moving on the gate 2, but penalises himself and fails to score. That's a disappointment once again for the Australian, and can't quite understand how he can go from scoring 20 points to failing to score so far tonight. That must be really, they're shaking their heads in that camp. But this is good stuff from Greg Hancock, working his way back into the meeting. Useful 3 points, dramatic scenes here we've seen right from the introduction, and Greg Hancock once again showing why he is still at the top of his game, still so hungry.
Yep, very much so. That was a big ride from Hancock. Everybody is a Hancock fan. Don't know anybody who's really got a bad word to say about the guy.
What's not to like? What's not to like? He's always got time for people. Rides like a god. He rides beautifully on the bike, easy. And the record itself that he's never missed a Grand Prix in itself is just staggering. But he's pushing. He wants a third world title.
Heat number 12 coming up. Darcy Ward, can he get it right after his problem in his previous ride where he put the bike down after getting some unexpected grip? It's Ty Woofenden off the inside, unbeaten so far from 2 rides. He's in red. Darcy Ward goes off gate number 2 in blue. Niels Christian Iversen is gate 3 in white, and Jarek Hampel off the outside in yellow. And what a lineup this is. It's going to be great to watch, you can be sure of that.
Yeah, it has. It's been entertaining so far, and it's just gently building. But you're right, Nigel, this is a very good lineup. Wouldn't disgrace the final tonight. But Hampel is the one I feel is vulnerable. He hasn't really shown that much speed here tonight. The world champion there we're looking at has been extraordinary. He has just sort of stolen a march on all the opposition. They're settling down, they're finding the right rut. Big race here. Ward needs to bounce back.
Here we go, heat number 12. Can Woofenden keep it going off the inside gate? He's made a good start. He's going to try and hit that first turn, and watch out for Hampel around the outside. Hampel hits the boards and has got the speed and has got the lead now. And Hampel needs this as Woofenden holds second, and Darcy Ward coming around the outside. Niels Christian Iversen at the back, but Woofenden is going to wind it on and chase hard after Jarek Hampel. Hampel's using the outside, Woofenden is using the inside. We've got a good race on our hands as Ward comes through into third now.
Yeah, fabulous first corner from Jarek Hampel. Was dramatic indeed. Ward now pushing hard. Nearly clashed with the world champion there. There's all sorts of action going on for second and third, and Iversen out the back, but Hampel has really transformed his night. This is an excellent performance from the pole. World number 2 looks like he's tweaked that bike, and it's flying out in front. Woofenden hanging on in second place. Keep your eyes on Ward. Ward's really winding it up here.
Yep, Woofenden has got a see, and Ward comes around the outside. Ward's going to get second. Oh, down to the line. Great ride from Darcy Ward.
Fabulous ride from Darcy Ward. Very nearly got off the bike going into turn 3 on the opening lap, on the last lap. Just allowed the bike to run in the dirt, and on the charge to the line, I fancy he gets second place. That's an excellent display from him once again. A fabulous ride from Darcy Ward after the disappointment of throwing it away last time. Yeah, he's comfortably got there. Woofenden will be disappointed, but Hampel, he was a surprise ride there. Didn't fancy him.
Needed it.
Yeah, he needed it and responded really nicely.
Well, what a wide open meeting this is now. Just to confirm the result for you. Hampel from Ward from Woofenden. Great ride from Hampel, he needed it. Ward needed those 2 points as well. And overall, it means that Jepsen, Jensen and Woofenden lead the GP on 7 points each.
Well, it was a sensational ride there from Jarek Hampel. The first corner, you can see how satisfied he is with that. He let the bike run lovely round in the dirt and just generates a lot of speed. Initially, Woofenden makes a good start from the inside, allows the bike to run. But look at Hampel here, lets the bike do the work and then straightens it up, and classy stuff from the pole to get himself to the front. And that's where he stays. Woofenden then just lacks a little bit of pace because Darcy Ward striking all sorts of stuff, pulling all sorts of moves behind him. As the race comes to its end, he does pull off quite a remarkable move. Earlier on in the race, he gets up the inside of Ty and they very nearly clash. Oh, yeah, it gets quite tight indeed. He has to come off the throttle, but later on, coming round the last corner, he really winds it on. And look at that move there, that's brave. Leg out the back, in the dirt, still second place away. That was classy from Ward.
Well, great stuff from Jarek Hampel, and perhaps we didn't make enough of his win there. That was superb, but I just wonder whether Ty Woofenden paid the price for holding the inside line there. He knew that Darcy Ward was holding the outside line, and it worked for him. And it just makes you wonder whether there will be a little bit of mind games creeping in later on in this meeting, because that was a fine ride from Darcy Ward. Did Ty Woofenden pay the price for just staying on the inside line?
It's possible. I think he felt comfortable there, but he didn't. It's just one of those races where he just couldn't quite get himself in the right place at the right time, and he just got beaten up. Late on in the race, possibly he should have moved off the line a little bit and generated a bit more speed, and but he was worried about Ward. Ward had got nearly up the inside of him once before, and he probably decided to just cover that move because he fancied Ward might just do it again. But a brave move from Darcy Ward, a world-class move from Ward around the outside in the last corner, saw him still second place off him. Wide open, as you rightly say. It's really livening up nicely now.
Great to see such a fantastic crowd here tonight, including Darcy Ward's dad, George, who has just given us a wave, just down below us. Andreas Jonsson now is with Jason Harold.
Well, Andreas Jonsson, a nice position to be in now at the halfway stage.
Yeah, started pretty good, you know, started improving, getting better and better, and I just got to keep working hard, you know. It's bike feeling good tonight, I'm feeling pretty good, so.
That race where you went round Greg Hancock, could you actually tell from where you were that his bike was slowing down?
Didn't really. I thought that he hit a slick spot on the track, you know, and just parked it a little bit, and then I went past him on the inside, so I didn't know if his bike, something happened to his bike.
You always seem to do well here at Cardiff. It's a track that obviously suits your riding style.
I'm not sure, you know, but I haven't been going my way this year, and hopefully I can turn it around there in Cardiff. Would be nice.
All right, keep it up, AJ. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good stuff from Andreas Jonsson. He's had a disappointing season, but we know he has qualities, and so far tonight he's been riding well, and he's got a lot of speed, so fingers crossed he can keep it rolling on. He's well ensconced in the top 8 at this stage with, you know, a good return.
Well, here we are, our Polish colleagues once again getting their interview with Andreas Jonsson. And it is frustrating when you know what a fantastic rider Andreas Jonsson can be, but bit of track preparation going on in the extended interval here.
Yeah, while they're chatting away, I thought we might just have a word about the track surface. You've got to give the BSI, the organisers, an awful lot of credit. They had some issues with the track last year, but they went out and they bought brand new material, and that's come in, and it's behaving itself nicely so far tonight, and we're witnessing a really good speedway meeting. So yeah, fair play to them, at no small cost to themselves. They've been very brave, and they've reinvested in this venue. Good to see.
Yep, good to see. 14th staging of the British Grand Prix at the Millennium Stadium, which is fantastic. I remember when it first started, many people thought it won't last. It's a pipe dream, but it really has lasted the test of time, and well, I'm pretty sure, well, I know for a fact because it's advertised here, ticket sales for next year will be launched on Tuesday, so we will know the date for the 2015 British Grand Prix here at the Millennium Stadium early this week. So great to know that we'll be back here next year as well, Kel.
Yeah, and it makes such a good motorsport venue. It transforms into a brilliant speedway venue, and you know, we see some extra special speedway every year, and you know, the organisers again have worked so hard with their presentation and trying to make the experience of coming here that little bit better every time. So all credit to them, because it's never easy to do that, because it's such a wonderful place to come in any case. But yeah, the package of coming down here is very good.
Michael Jepsen-Jensen is with Jason Harold. We'll go there just as soon as we can. We do apologise for that, but we'll get back down there to the pits as soon as the guys are ready. But in fact, let's see now. I think we can get hold of Michael Jepsen-Jensen with Jason Harold.
Well, Michael, this late call-up again seems to suit you, leading the British Grand Prix after 3 rides. How does that feel?
Feels all right. It's an amazing crowd, you know.
When did you actually get the call to find out that Chris Holder was going to be missing this Grand Prix as well?
Wednesday evening, but on Monday at Wolves, Chris said to me that I should be ready.
How do you actually prepare? Because these guys have a fortnight between Grand Prix to prepare themselves. You thought it might be a one-off because you're the number 19. How do you actually get yourself prepared at such short notice?
Same as usual. The boys was preparing the bike like always straight away, because they know there was the chance, so they could leave from Denmark first in the morning. So I'll say that just in the same way like usual. Chris was so nice that gave me the message that I should be ready, and they also said to me for the last Grand Prix that they was not sure that he'll be back, so it was a big chance that he'll probably be out. So, but it's of course a little bit tough that you don't know 100%, so you have to like prepare mentally, but also like maybe you'll get the call that you don't have to run. So.
The Grand Prix seems to suit you though, and you seem suited to it, so you're obviously enjoying your time in it.
Yeah, of course I do. This is the big goal. My season this season for me been so tough. There've been so many things on my mind, but I'm starting to get back and starting to have all these problems solved, and I need to show something for this. I'm not even in the GP qualifier because I did shit at the Danish final where we have to go in the systems and stuff like this. So I need to improve something here if I want to have a chance to go in the series for next season, you know.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Apologies for that if you did hear a naughty word slip out, but he's doing very well.
Yeah, he is, and I like Jepsen-Jensen. He's had some issues with his father. His father's been very ill, and he's been a big influence in his career. So Jepsen-Jensen beginning to get over that, and so far tonight he's ridden in great style and got a very good chance of going through to a second consecutive semi-final. 7 points from his first 3 rides. It's a good return.
Well, we'll hear now Michael Jepsen-Jensen in his native Danish tongue. But yeah, he's a fine rider. So, no, not well. Tack.
Tack, yeah. Oh, yeah. You say that quite nicely. I'm
Taxi.
sure. Tax.
Yeah.
Fortunately, in Scandinavia, they all speak very good English. So when we visit on a regular basis, so we seem to get by. But
oh, I know another word in Danish. Carlsberg.
Carlsberg, yeah. Tuborg. Was that Swedish?
But yeah, he's a fine rider, and I mean, he'd be a good addition to the series on a full-time basis, Kelvin.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's already proven to be able to win at this level. He won his first Grand Prix 2 years ago, and in that young, exciting Danish team when they won in Melilla 2 years ago as well in the World Cup. So he's had some problems away from the track that have hindered his progress, and as he explained just earlier on with Jason Harold, that he's beginning to find his confidence again, and he's moving in the right direction.
Tell you what, Kel, they've done a heck of a lot of work on this track, haven't they?
They're conscious of the new material not breaking up too much, and I can understand that. They've got a heavy roller, as you say. I think that's more of a cricketing term than a speedway term, but they have been rolling it, and they've got some excellent equipment here, and they seem to be able to get it back very nicely, but certainly they are conscious that this material is fresh and they don't want it breaking up.
So our colleagues from Denmark there talking to Michael Jepsen-Jensen. Heat number 13 is coming up, and Jepsen-Jensen is in the next race. It's off gate number 4. Greg Hancock's in there.
Good
Hampel
lineup.
and Kasperzak. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and it's a wide open meeting now as well.
4 race winners here from their previous heats. Hampel, Kasperzak, Hancock and Jensen. I think they all run their last races, so
yeah,
a very competitive race coming up.
Greg Hancock then, the man in the white helmet colour. 5 points. And John McGuinness, who is an Isle of Man TT legend. He is down in the pits talking to Jason.
Yes, John McGuinness, Isle of Man TT legend. How are you enjoying your speedway?
I love it, mate. Any chance I can get to come to the speedway, I'm there. And I've had lots of visits to Cardiff, and the atmosphere tonight's like it is every year. It's just electric out there, and you know, we've got a Brit on fire tie. So yeah, I'm just thoroughly enjoying my night. I love it.
You, of course, you've ridden speedway. You went up against the world champion. How does it compare to what you do on the Isle of Man TT races?
Yeah, it's a bit different. I'm sort of probably a little bit happier in my own environment on the slick tyres than on the dirt. But what an incredible thing to ride with a world champion. I mean, he came past me in a cloud of dust and didn't see where he went. But hopefully I'll get my own back on him and get him on a road racer and serve one into him next time. But yeah, I went to Leicester and you know with Monster, had a thoroughly enjoyable day. And you know, I'm an enthusiast at the end of the day. Off the terraces watching speedway, and you know, to ride with a champ was something real special.
Where's your local track?
Bellevue. I'm a big Bellevue fan. I went there as a kid to the old Hyde Road, and you know, I've been going ever since. And yeah, I try to get to as many matches as I can. If I'm racing throughout the country, we get to as many tracks as we can. But you know, it's just a spectacular thing to go to. And
good to see you here, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I can imagine Ty Woofenden going around the Isle of Man. That'll be a sight.
I'm sure he'd be up for it. He's a brave young man. I get the feeling that he wouldn't shy away from that challenge. But John McGuinness is a specialist around the Isle of Man. That is one hell of a race, and fair play to him. He's won it on numerous occasions. This year wasn't quite so successful. He had some injuries.
Ty Woofenden 79, Greg Hancock 78. It's not really changed, apart from the fact that Woofenden now leads,
yeah,
but the margin is just 1 point.
Yeah, the 2 points Woofenden dropped last time was significant in that, and Hancock responded so well, but all 4 riders won their last ride here, so riders that are beginning to figure it out. It'd be interesting to see if the track has changed in the regard to bike setup, so you're never quite sure how the bike's going to react after such extensive track grading. So interesting race, a highly competitive race.
Certainly is. Heat number 13 is coming up as the battle for the semi-finals hots up nicely. Heat number 13, Hampel, Kasperzak, Hancock, Jepsen, Jensen. That's the lineup. Craig Ackroyd, our referee, with his finger on the button, and Hancock has made an absolute beauty from gate number 3. That's what Greg Hancock has been doing all throughout his career. You just knew from the moment he dropped the clutch there, he was on his way to a winner. And now Jepsen Jensen is going to come up the inside of Jarek Hampel with Kasperzak at the back, but not for long because Kasperzak has come through into 3rd. Well, extraordinary speedway.
It was extraordinary speedway, and it was an extraordinarily good start from Greg Hancock, looking like he's going to go back-to-back wins. A brilliant ride from Jepsen Jensen there to get into 2nd place, and he then relegated Hampel to the back because Kasperzak then bounced, but Hancock's out in front looking majestic. Got to say that Jepsen Jensen is building on his 7 points, moving on to 9 here, I would think. Coming under a bit of pressure from Kasperzak, but Hancock is flying again here.
Yeah, Greg Hancock looking superb here. The man in white moves him on to 8 points. And remember, he went from 1st to 3rd in one race, so he would have been on 10 by now. But Hancock punches the air. He's looking good, and he retakes the lead in the World Championship. He leads Woofenden by 2 points now, and look what it means to him. I know there are 2 coach loads of fans that have come from Cradley Heath, where he started his European career in 1989. Heathens fans that have made the trip to be here at the Millennium to support Greg Hancock and the British boys here tonight. Grinning to win. Greg Hancock takes the victory.
Yeah, nice ride from Greg Hancock. A brilliant start from gate 3. Really dug in and drove forward. And Jepsen Jensen rode very strongly there to get into 2nd place.
Yep, Jepsen Jensen 2nd. Kasperzak was 3rd. And Hampel at the back there. So inconsistent, Jarek Hampel. And Greg Hancock moves on to 8 points. And Jepsen Jensen in the semi-finals with 9 as a replacement for Chris Holder. Good stuff and well done, Greg Hancock.
Yeah, well done, Greg Hancock, because he would have been really disappointed after a second ride where he saw the lead slip back to third place. But look at this. This is such a... Oh, well, any young rider wants to learn how to make starts. Just have a look at Greg Hancock, because that was absolutely out of the top draw. He clears off out in front. But the move here from Jepsen Jensen is a classic one where he's able to square the corner off. He's got his wheels in line. He's carrying more speed, and Hampel's given him the racing room. But then that actually relegates Jarek Hampel to the back, and you can see his crew are really disappointed about that. But Hancock is now well and truly involved. He's on 8 points. He's won his last couple of rides. We've seen him do it on numerous occasions this year. And then the American is just a sensation. One more race to come.
Keeps on going, doesn't he, Greg? A remarkable character. Works hard on and off the track.
Absolutely, Nigel. You can't... I find it remarkable how he retains his hunger, and he's in this championship taste. He will be a major threat to this man, the world champion. Hancock is fighting hard for his third world title.
So Hancock retakes the lead in the World Championship, and now Ty Woffenden, it's over to you. Heat number 14. How sensational would it be if they could keep it going all the way to Torren in October?
There's a good chance. Yeah, barring injury, it's a very good chance, and the two boys are in top form.
Heat 14 it is then, and going off the inside in red is Andreas Jonsson. Ty Woffenden goes off gate 2 in blue, 2 wins to start with. Freddie Lindgren gate 3 in white, and Chris Harris with a race win under his name as well. Phil Morris smiling on down in the pits area. Harris is off the outside in yellow. Good race lined up here.
Very good lineup, and Lindgren inherited a fortunate win, but he'll be grateful for it. The two Swedes who have struggled, who are having a pretty decent night here, and Andreas Jonsson on the inside could be a major threat for the world champion.
Here we go with heat number 14, and Woffenden's made a good one off gate number 2. That's a smashing start from the world champion. Lindgren's coming wide around in the dirt though. Freddie Lindgren in white, but Woffenden tries to close the door. Lindgren now has that lead, and that is superb from Freddie Lindgren. Woffenden is second. There's a battle for third with Jonsson and Chris Harris at the back now, but that was superb from Lindgren. Woffenden's coming back for more. Woffenden likes the inside line tonight. He got done by Darcy Ward in the last one, and he's trying on his former Wolves teammate Freddie Lindgren here.
Yeah, very brave lap there from Freddie Lindgren. He's out of shape there, and Woffenden's coming back at him. Woffenden's now got himself back to the front. Lindgren on the outside's going to square the corner off. Can he get his wheels in line early enough? This is a superb ride from Woffenden, because it looked like Lindgren was going to steal this race away. Woffenden's got it, flying out in front.
And look how he's cleared off and has the lead. Oh, he almost loses it there. Hangs on and gets a third win of the night. And you can pencil in the name Ty Woffenden into the semi-finals of the British Grand Prix now. I thought for one moment he was going to bin the bike.
Well, he nearly got it out of shape though. He was out of shape, wasn't he? And he straightened up very quickly in the middle of the bottom corner and just about recovered, but he'd stretched the lead sufficiently to be able to have that comfort zone. And he recovered, and he does a nice round of a celebration lap. And it goes in. That's a third win on the night. Looking good. 10 points to his name. He's comfortably into the semi-finals, but a touch fortunate.
Very much so. Lindgren, you have to feel some sympathy for Freddie there, because he rode superbly to get round Woffenden.
Very brave.
Only to lose it later on. And this is what it means now overall. Woffenden leads the GP on 10 points now after 14 heats. Super ride from Ty Woffenden, 10 points from 4 rides. He's in the semi-final, so is Jepsen Jensen. And now Woffenden delighted.
Makes a fantastic start out of gate 2 and then hugs the inside and feels quite comfortable there. You mentioned it in your commentary, Nigel, but look at this move from Lindgren. Just has enough racing room, fair racing, tough, but allows the bike to sweep round the outside of Woffenden. But all credit to the world champion, he doesn't panic. And he just sticks to his guns and he keeps riding that inside line. And as the race goes on, the longer the race goes on, the more it works, because Lindgren just begins to make the odd mistake, lifts a little bit, just a little bit out of shape, and Woffenden comes right back into the picture. And he gets himself to the front, and that's a very useful win and a very impressive win. And he's riding brilliantly here this evening. Team are delighted. Go on.
I think his pit crew are quite passionate about how Ty does.
Yeah, you know that from that reaction, they're fully behind their man.
Just a little bit. Great ride from Woffenden, heat 14 then, moves him on to 10 points now. We build up to heat number 15. Riders at tapes, ready to go. Zagar only 2 points to his name. Pedersen only 5. Needs to do something here. This could be fireworks in heat number 15 as the pressure mounts on riders to edge their way through to the semi-finals. I'll tell you one thing that is happening tonight. Woffington and Hancock are in serious danger of having a nice cushion in the world title race going into the World Cup break.
Yeah, it's looking good for them. It's almost like a two-horse race. They're pulling away with Nicky Pedersen and Iversen dropping points, and they're so remarkably consistent at this stage of the campaign. It's looking good for them, but Pedersen's got to respond here. He wasn't fast enough last time. Iversen was out the back. He didn't score, so a big race for the two Danish riders on the outside.
It's number 15 is on here. Very tense, pressure on, points
movement
needed. Zagar moved a little bit at the start, and it's going to be Niels Christian Iversen in white who's going to go and get the drive, but Smolinski up the inside. That's a nice move, but there's Iversen, and now Pedersen comes through ruthlessly, drives up the inside of Smolinski, and Zagar has come through into third place now to get the better of Pedersen. These two, of course, are great rivals after coming together in Manila, but Nicky Pedersen hasn't got the speed here in heat 15.
Yeah, you're right, Nigel. Once again, he's been tailed off quite alarmingly. And Zagar pounced there when Nicky Pedersen ran in a bit hot and got the better of Smolinski. Whoa! Zagar hit a rut there, and the bike was violently just twitched underneath him. He did well to hang on to it. Iversen's out in front. He's being chased by Zagar, who is definitely a quicker here. But there's going to be some worrying signs here for Nicky Pedersen. Not quick enough. Iversen looks good.
Yeah, Pedersen would be on 6 points if it stays like this, and he's going to need another 2 in his last ride for the semi-finals. But for Niels Christian Iversen, that was a big win because he was on 5 before then. Puts him on to 8 points, and for Zagar, it looks like he's going to miss out tonight. That's a massive disappointment for Matti Zagar. Pedersen only with a point as well. Smolinski at the back, but Niels Christian Iversen kept it all wound on, and in the context of his night, that's put him on to 8 points and rocketed him up the standings.
Yeah, very impressive once again from Iversen. Wasn't downhearted after running a last. Responds brilliantly. Another highly competitive race, and Zagar rode nicely to get through into second place, albeit he had a couple of little moments out there. But that's impressive from Iversen.
Iversen, Zagar, Pedersen and Smolinski. Smolinski, who still nowhere near the rider he was at the start of the season. Iversen in the top 8 on 8 points, level with Hancock and Lindgren. And, well, you could pick any one of probably 4 to 5 riders that you would feel confident to predict winning this Grand Prix tonight.
And Iversen, it could well be one of those, because he has come out of gate 3 in fine style. He pushes Nicky Pedersen wide, and then Pedersen responds nicely, getting up the inside of Martin Smolinski, and that puts pace to the German's effort. And Zagar then is able to get himself right in the picture. He's out the back at this very early stage of the race, but he gets into second place. But look at that. There's obviously a ridge there that caught him out. He couldn't believe it, but he hangs onto the bike and winds it on. But Iversen showing a lot of character, a lot of determination. We've come to see this from this man now. And 8 points from 4 rides with the outside gate to come.
Heat number 16 it is after this race. Every rider will have completed 4 rides. And Darcy Ward is off gate number 3, needing points. Realistically, the other riders here won't make it. Kenneth Pierre has got 45 seconds to change bikes here. Running repairs. He hasn't scored a point all night. It's a shocker for Kenneth Pierre.
Desperate night for him, and I don't really know where it's all gone wrong, but yeah, motorbikes and mechanics everywhere on the start line. 30 seconds to go. Should make it quite comfortably in the end, but turmoil going on in the Kenneth Pierre camp, and got a feel for him. It's not a pleasant place to be when you're not having a good time at a Grand Prix.
Terrible return to the GP series for Kenneth after scoring 11 in New Zealand. He got 10, to be fair to him, in Manila. But anyway, here we go. Batchelor, Cook, Ward and Pierre. That's your lineup for heat number 16. So,
well, let's hope that Craig Cook can pick up some points in this one. He started so well and then subsequently has found points very hard to come by.
Here we go, heat number 16, and away from the start. Batchelor's made a better one this time, and Pierre around the outside as well. Has the lead early on, but now can Ward come through up the inside? Pierre's got a bit more speed here. Kenneth Pierre's going wide, and Ward is going to try the inside line. Here comes Darcy Ward, but Kenneth Pierre has the lead. Ward second, Batchelor third, and Craig Cook trailing at the back.
Yeah, Ward could do with winning this race. He's outside the top 8, and really He needs to find a way through. He's coming right up the inside and he's finding it there, and he's just beginning to put Kenneth Pierre under all sorts of pressure. Pierre's out of shape on the outside, and that's a class move. Nice move from Ward to get himself to the front. Got a feel for Cook. He didn't make a good start. He's out the back, but Darcy Ward, desperate for a win, looking like he's going to get it.
Darcy Ward, winner in Copenhagen last year, but missed Cardiff through injury. He has just passed Kenneth Pierre, and he's going to take the checkered flag here. That'll put him on to 8 points, and now Darcy Ward will feel more comfortable about his semi-final prospects. Big ride from Darcy Ward. Plenty of fans from Australia in the crowd tonight. In fact, just below us in our commentary position, the 2012 world champion Chris Holder is watching the action alongside a few of his fellow Aussie riders, Todd Kurtz, Brady Kurtz, Nick Morris.
How does he feel?
They're all down there, yeah.
How does he feel? He's got such a good record here, Chris Holder. I'm sure he's really gutted not to be out there really charging hard tonight. And Darcy Ward, that was a really useful win for him.
Ward, Pierre, Batchelor, Cook, the final order there. Every rider has completed 4 rides. Ward rockets up into the top 8 in 4th place, but Woofenden is the leader.
Yeah, Darcy Ward, he rode really nicely there. We fully expect him to be able to work his way through the traffic. It was a good effort initially from Kenneth Pierre that made him work hard, but he needed that. He's had a few points slip away from him tonight when he got off the back of the bike when he was in the lead, but he responds well here. It's a good effort initially from Kenneth Pierre. Give him credit. He's had an awful night. He's out in front and he picks up his first points on the night. But Ward's just got too much speed and pace for him, and as the race continues into the 2nd and 3rd laps, he's able to work his way through the inside and gets himself nicely to the front, with Pierre hanging on for 2nd place. Batchelor's having a hard night as well. He only got 1 point from 4 rides, and Craig Cook is finding the pace of Grand Prix tough now. He started well with 2 points, but has struggled for points subsequently. Plenty of support for Darcy Ward. He should well be able to be now well and truly into the semi-finals.
Yeah, great stuff. And every rider now has completed 4 rides here then at the Millennium Stadium. And it's going to be a very, very tense time now over the next 4 heats to decide the top 8 here tonight and who qualifies for the semi-finals. Right now, Woofenden, Jepsen, Jensen, Iversen, Ward, Hancock, Lindgren, Kasperzak and Jonsson are in the top 8, but Chris Harris has still got a chance, Kelvin.
Yep. Chris Harris is there on 6 points. He's had a decent night apart from his last ride. He's got gate 3 in his last heat, so let's keep our fingers crossed that Chris can come up with at least 2 points. He's going to need at least 2 to give himself an outside chance. He's had a heat win, that could come to his rescue. And Nicky Pedersen, who's been slow, he's only got 3 third places in his last 3 rides, and he needs that inside gate. The inside gate could come to the rescue for Nicky Pedersen, the 3-time world champion, but it's wide open, you're right. Ty Woofenden bounced back nicely with that win last time out. Jepsen Jensen's the surprise. He has ridden brilliantly, very, very consistent. Nice work from the young Danish rider.
Yeah, very much so. Jepsen Jensen, who scored 8 points, of course, in Copenhagen. Now he's got 9 here, so it's a great effort.
It is a great effort, and when you consider that he's out of the World Championship qualifying system, he's only really got to show, he's got a second opportunity to show his skills here tonight. Good stuff.
Well, Greg Hancock's bounced back with a couple of race wins, and he is with Jason Harrell now.
Well, Greg, after we spoke before, I take it you've changed bikes now.
Yeah, that's right. I made a change after my 2nd heat there, and sometimes you just got to do it. If one bike's not doing it for you, you don't have a lot of time to try to make it work. So went to the 2nd bike, and that was the right choice.
What happened exactly underneath you? You said you felt the bike dying. Did your mechanic and team put their finger on what it was?
Well, no. I mean, everything felt great yesterday in practice. So it just, the conditions are slightly different today, and it's a little more humid in here tonight. So this might be something there that's causing the bike not to do what we wanted it to do yesterday. And sometimes you just got to make that change quick.
That battle at the top, it's still neck and neck, keeps changing heat by heat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just points are points right now, and that's all that we're looking at. It doesn't matter where you are in the standings. It's just I want points, in the end. Then we'll start counting the points.
All right, Greg. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff from Greg Hancock. I don't think we quite got to the bottom of what was going on mechanically there. I think he was being probably very kind to his backup crew, but certainly the 2nd bike was an awful lot quicker than the bike he rode in the 2nd race. And Hancock has done great work, really good work to get himself well and truly back. 2 race wins consecutively sees him nicely ensconced in the top 8, Nige. And I just think that he could go close. And Ward, all of a sudden, having 5 points from his last 2 rides, he's beginning to make his mark as well.
Heats there, and the second heat was the worst because I was leading it, and then it got it thrown all the way. But got it working again now, and I feel better.
Yeah, and with the starting ability that Greg Hancock's got, there is no doubt he could be a contender for a win here in the Millennium Stadium this evening.
Yeah,
definitely. I had to make the change. We made one change between the first and second heats, but it wasn't, still wasn't doing anything special, I felt. And sometimes you just got to change bike.
Yeah, so Greg looking forward to his last ride here now. He's coming up again in Heat 20 against Nicky Pedersen, Chris Harris and Darcy Ward. So that's going to be a fantastic lineup for Heat number 20. Ever the gentleman, Greg Hancock, good stuff, giving his answers to our Polish TV colleagues here at the Millennium Stadium. We have 4 heats of the qualifiers to go. Then we have the semi-finals and the final. And this crowd absolutely gripped here at the Millennium Stadium. A fantastic turnout tonight. And fans from all over the UK. And now, by the way, breaking news on the big screens here tonight. It's just been announced that the Ty Woofenden fundraising initiative has gone over the £30,000 mark for the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. It's gone over £30,000. That's just been announced on the big screen. Text WOFF60 plus £1, 5 or 10 to 70070. We can hear from Ty now with Jason.
Well, Ty, we've just heard that it's gone past the £30,000 mark now. That's brought a big smile.
Yeah, 31,000, you know. Massive thanks to everyone out there. You know, I appreciate that you probably spent a lot of money this weekend, but you know, you're just willing to donate for the kids, and that means a lot to me. You know, we try to raise this 100 grand, and that'll buy an ensuite bedroom for the families to recover in the new Premier Inn clinical building that'll be built in 2017. So I'm hoping to raise 100 grand every year, and we can have 4 of them bedrooms for the families to chill in while their parents recover. So I think it's key for them, you know. So thanks a lot, guys. If you haven't heard the announcer, it's WOFF60 to 770, and the amount you want to donate. Thanks a bunch.
It's quite remarkable you're talking about that in a relaxed manner when you've still got this battle at the top of the World Championship between you and Greg Hancock.
Hey, Speedway's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Fundraising's not, so I'm going to push it as much as I can.
Good man. Thank you, Ty.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, great effort, and some lovely pictures earlier of the cycle ride yesterday. And this is an ongoing initiative of Ty's to raise money for Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital.
Feels very passionately about these type of causes, doesn't he? And it's great because you know, he's being able to ride at the top of his game at the biggest speedway meeting in the world, and also he's got his mind on continuing to raise money for a fabulous cause. So yeah, it's quite extraordinary like that. I can't remember another world champion doing that. Tony Ricardson, who was one of the best riders we've ever seen, certainly was very difficult to talk to during a Grand Prix, and Ty is very relaxed indeed.
Riders make their way onto the track for heat number 17 then, and we have Freddie Lindgren and Niels Christian Iversen are on 8 points apiece. And the way it is so tight, I'm sure they'll feel a lot happier if they can just go past the 8-point mark, because 8 points is borderline really when it comes to the semi-final spot.
Yeah, you've got to keep your fingers crossed on 8 points. Jepsen Jensen is also out here again, and he's been in fine form. And Iversen, who, you know, he returned to top form last time after running a last. So yeah, the Scandinavian riders are by and large in pretty good form here tonight. Kenneth Pierre will finish his night here, but it's been a disappointing night for him. But the commitment from Freddie Lindgren and Jepsen Jensen and Iversen has been admirable. They've been really giving it their all, and this will be a tough race.
Yep, so here we go with heat number 17 then, and should be a good race this one. 4 qualifying heats to go to decide who gets into the semi-finals here at the British Grand Prix in Cardiff. Here we go, Michael Jepsen Jensen goes off the inside then, 9 points to his name so far. Freddie Lindgren goes off gate number 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Kenneth Pierre in white, and going off the outside is Niels Christian Iversen in yellow. Big race this one.
It is indeed, and Iversen was who's doing plenty of gardening, looking for the ideal spot to start from. Was terrific out of gate 3 last time and won well. Jepsen Jensen rode nicely to get to second place in his previous ride, and is sitting on comfortably on 9 points in a semi-final qualifying place, but he'll want to keep pushing on. He's making his mark in World Championship Speedway once again. He's got the inside gate, a good opportunity for him to build on those 9 points here.
Certainly is. Here we go. Heat number 17. Jepsen Jensen off the inside is showing early. Nicely done by him, but Niels Christian Iversen around the outside, and Lindgren coming through in blue, and Jepsen Jensen has suddenly gone to the back. But Niels Christian Iversen, well, what a fine ride that was from him early on. And now Pierre is trying to come around the outside of Freddie Lindgren as well. But Lindgren in blue, well, he knows that he's on 8 points. This will put him on to 9, and that should be enough for him. But Iversen kicking on.
Yeah, Iversen has responded brilliantly. That from the outside was an excellent start from him, and he's got a lot of pace out in front. Kenneth Pierre has come good a little bit too late. He's got good pace in second place with Lindgren. Well, what a first corner it was from Freddie Lindgren. Kenneth Pierre going wide again, and the surprise here is Jepsen Jensen out the back, but no surprise to see Niels Christian Iversen winning races once again. This is good stuff.
Yeah, Iversen looking very smooth and very, very stylish indeed here as he romps to another victory, and that'll put him on to 11 points and 2 straight wins now for Niels Christian Iversen to round off his night, and another semi-final appearance for Niels Christian Iversen. Excellent work from him.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it bang on. He looked a bit vulnerable, but then showed his real character coming up with the 2 race wins and finishes in style from the outside. We mentioned it earlier on, he is a potential winner this evening. Could he win back-to-back Grand Prix, Parken and the Millennium Stadium? Whoa, that really would be quite an achievement. Iversen wins in style from the outside, 3 points to him.
Yeah, with Kenneth Pierre second, Freddie Lindgren in third place there. That puts him on to 9 points, and that should take him through to the semi-finals. Jepsen Jensen, of course, last on that occasion, but he'd already done the hard work when it comes to a place in the semi-finals. So looking good for those two.
Yeah, initially you said it, and it's right. Jepsen Jensen makes a good jump, gets to the first corner, but Freddie Lindgren, look at that, squeezes his way through into second place, but Iversen gets a great run around the outside earlier on and has got good pace. The bike is certainly hooked up nicely, and he's got plenty of speed, and he'll be building and growing in confidence with these wins he's getting in the last couple of rides. See how much it means. Winning races here is like no other place. It's such a huge venue, and Niels Christian Iversen, the winner 2 weeks ago, is looking to do double up and do it again. He wants to be world champion. He's got that burning desire, that burning ambition to be the number 1 in the world. Good ride from him. Heat 18 coming up.
Yep, and we have here Jarek Hampel and Martin Smolinski on 5 points apiece. Nothing less than a win will do. Bachelor, who has had an absolute nightmare tonight in total contrast to Copenhagen. Change of bike late on here.
Yeah, he's desperate, isn't he? And he's just scored 1 point from 4 rides. That I just can't understand it at this stage. He was unbeaten 2 weeks ago. He had 12 points to his name at this stage last 2 weeks ago in Parken Stadium, and this time 1 point. And the tracks are very similar, so I'm sure he's scratching his head.
Here we go, heat number 18, Troy Bachelor only 1 point. Andreas Jonsson goes off gate number 2 in blue. He needs a couple of points here as well. Hampel off 3 and Smolinski off 4. Stakes are high here, Kelvin. There's a big prize for the winner, potentially a place in the semi-finals.
Yeah, Hampel's won a race, and then you suddenly see him relegated to the back and he can't land a blow, but he's a good starter. He knows what pressure's all about. Needs to pull something out of the bag here.
Certainly does, and Bachelor's made a great start off one. The one rider who's out of contention, but here comes Smolinski around the outside. Martin Smolinski in yellow with a lovely ride. The German has that lead. Oh, he's lost control of the bike, and Bachelor's going to come back through. Jonsson is there as well. Hampel has gone to the back. It's all happening, and they're all in it.
They are all in it, and it was quite extraordinary there for a moment, because Troy Bachelor, who's done nothing all night, looks really good out in front. Martin Smolinski, who's quite fast, very nearly threw it all away. I'm not sure second place will be enough. Certainly out the back, Hampel, that's no good. Smolinski looking good here. Coming at Troy Batchelor, the German up the inside. Can Batchelor now repay the compliment? Oh, no, he can't. Good ride from the German.
Good speedway here in heat number 18. Smolinski of Germany has that lead.
Leaping about.
Yeah, with Batchelor second, Jonsson third. Jarek Hampel has been a disappointment tonight. One great win, but he's going to bow out with 5 points. But Martin Smolinski, that puts him on to 8. And he has a chance of a semi-final spot now, Martin Smolinski. But Batchelor finally got it right there. And looked a lot better.
But what a ride from Martin Smolinski. Yeah. He's been out of form lately and started slowly tonight. But Smolinski second, third, and then finishes with a very fine win. He's delighted with that. Has a victory lap. I think he just needs to just take it easy a little bit because he's still got plenty of work to do. He's in the top 8 as we speak. Kasperzak may be a danger. Harris possibly could be a danger.
Yeah, it's going to be a nervous wait. Of course, there is a countback system if you finish level on points. Smolinski, Batchelor, Jonsson and Hampel. The countback, by the way, goes on race wins and then head-to-head in terms of who beat who in the qualifying races. So that's how it stands. But when you look at Smolinski and Jonsson in the top 8, they've got Kasperzak just behind them on 7. Chris Harris and Nicky Pedersen as well on 6 points. So they are in with a chance. So Smolinski, good ride from him.
Yeah, it was a good ride, but he's going to have to be patient, as you rightly say. He goes from the outside gate. Initially, Troy Batchelor makes a great fist of it around the inside, and then Smolinski gets to the front, but then he makes a mistake that costs him. He runs wide here, gets a bit out of shape, and that allows Batchelor and Jonsson up the inside, with Hampel then getting relegated to the back. Smolinski rides well because he's got lots of speed here and he gets himself back to the front. Hampel, you're right, Nigel, he's had an awful last couple of rides, just not on the pace at all. A good ride from Smolinski with Andreas Jonsson also, but the German will have to wait and see how it pans out if he will get another ride tonight.
Yep, now Ty Woofenden is out here in heat number 19. Look at Smolinski, punches the air with delight. Well done to him, and he does head Andreas Jonsson on countback because he's just beaten him there. So that works in his favour.
He's got a chance, hasn't he?
He's got a chance. Yeah, absolutely right. Heat number 19. Cook has found it tough. He started off with a good second place, but has been off the pace since then. We have Zagar off the inside. Surprising. Zagar 4 points. Hampel 5. It's so surprising. The World Championship standings. Woofenden 82. Hancock 81, and Niels Christian Iversen is still in contention, Kelvin.
Yeah, he's the big mover, isn't he? He's the one that's lurking in the background that could well make it a 3-horse race. But Woofenden and Hancock so far remarkably consistent.
Zagar, Kasperzak, Woofenden, Cook. That's the way they line up here for heat number 19. That's a good start from Zagar, but what about Woofenden off gate number 3? That was commanding from the Great Britain man, the reigning world champion. Woofenden superb off gate 3. Zagar holds second place right now, and Kasperzak is third. Craig Cook at the back, but for Ty Woofenden, Kelvin, off gate number 3, he has certainly got his gating gloves on tonight.
Out of the top draw, the world champion showing a clean pair of heels to the opposition here. Once again, jet propelled away from the tape. Zagar there, just a little bit out of shape, but Woofenden is in a different class here. He's absolutely flying out in front. Zagar having problems in second place. Cook once again finding it tough at this level. But Ty Woofenden in front of this huge home crowd is majestic out in front.
And now Kasperzak goes up the inside of Zagar for second place right now. And now Zagar's going to come back for more. It's a real battle for second spot. And Zagar's taken Kasperzak wide. Woofenden wins the race. Zagar second. That puts him on to 6. Kasperzak third place puts him on 8. He's got to wait on the countback as well. But Ty Woofenden, he will lead the standings going into the semi-finals here with 13 points. Ty Woofenden is going to have first pick of gate positions in the semi-finals.
Well, he won't have to wait for the countback, will he? He's well and truly ensconced in the top of the charts. And the reason he's top of the charts is because he is riding fabulously well, once again demonstrating why he is the world champion. Wonderful start, textbook ride out in front.
Super ride from Ty Woofenden, 13 points for him. As we say, he will lead it. Kasperzak just outside the top 8 right now. Matti Zagar, 6 points for him. Major disappointment for a rider of his class and ability. But for Ty Woffenden, it's the British Grand Prix, and he leads the British Grand Prix.
Well, it's better than last year. At this stage, he was in an ambulance going to hospital. This time around, he's winning races for fun and absolutely dominating proceedings. Just one blip so far tonight. Great start from Grade 3. Great start. And makes light work of it and is in a different class here. There's a real battle between Kasperzak and Zagar for second and third as the race comes down to the checkered flag. And they swap positions a couple of times. But the race is all about this man. 13 points to his name. He's enjoying a smashing Grand Prix in front of his home crowd.
Looking so quick and so confident, Ty Woffenden.
Looks like a hard man to beat.
Yeah, he certainly is. Heat number 20 is coming up, and what a lineup. Now, if you are going to pick a race where you need to win it to get into the semi-finals, you don't want to be facing Pedersen, Hancock and Ward. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is what Great Britain's Chris Harris is facing here in heat number 20. It's a tough, tough ask for Chris Harris.
Indeed it is. And Harris has won a race tonight, and when he did get his nose in front, he had a lot of speed. Nicky Pedersen on the inside hasn't looked fast enough. He's had 3 consecutive third places after winning his opening ride, but he did win from the inside. So will that help him out here in a dramatic heat 20 potentially? Hancock needs more points as well. He's looked great in his last couple, and Ward certainly got back to winning ways last time. So this is a super heat in prospect.
Absolutely right. Can Harris make the jump from gate 3? Pedersen off the inside, only 6 points. And Greg Hancock going off gate number 2 on 8. And there's now a clutch of 4 riders on 8 points. Harris is off gate 3 in white. Darcy Ward is going off the outside in yellow. It's going to be tense, this race, Kelvin.
I'll say it's been a tense night, but yeah, we riders so desperate for points. Could be a hard first corner.
Here we go. Heat number 20, and what a start from Nicky Pedersen in red. That is a stunning start. Harris is at the back. Ward now around the outside. Darcy Ward. Oh!
Pedersen slams the door shut going down the back straight. No chance that Ward was going to get round the outside of him. Hancock missed the start. He's back in third place, and Harris is desperately trying hard. Ward now up the inside of Pedersen. Take that.
Well, Darcy Ward was an angry man there, I can tell you, the way he was showing with his attitude. Pedersen second, Hancock third, and Chris Harris has pulled up at the back. His night is over with 6 points. Such a shame for Chris Harris. But for Darcy Ward, he was wound up by that move by Pedersen. Pedersen didn't leave him any room at all. You could argue he was entitled to it because Nicky had the lead.
Yeah,
but there was no way through for Ward, but he's got the lead. He looks over his shoulder, and Darcy Ward is going to go through to the semi-finals of the British Grand Prix with 11 points, and he looks over his shoulder and slows up as if to say, hello Nicky, I've just beaten you.
Yeah, that was a tough race, and Ward rode brilliantly there to get the better of Pedersen. Pedersen was ruthless on the opening lap, slamming the door shut. Disappointment for Chris Harris, whose bike appears to have packed up, and that's a shame for him. Looked like he could well have made the semi-finals. Ward has done a great job, Nige, because after getting off the back of the bike, he's responded brilliantly.
But you know, there's no congratulations from Pedersen to Ward or vice versa. There's no acknowledgement of each other. There's niggle there. Ward, Pedersen, Hancock. That's the finishing order. Semi-finals to come.
Yeah, Darcy Ward rides a stormer. Yeah, there's no love lost, is there, between Darcy Ward and Nicky Pedersen? Absolutely no acknowledgement of the fact that they've been out there really charging hard, putting their bodies on the line. Pedersen here comes off this first corner just in front, but slams it up against the fence and leaves Darcy Ward with nowhere to go. But you kind of know this is going to happen. You could see him predicting it, but it's a tough move nonetheless because Pedersen bounces off the dirt up against the safety fence. But then Nicky Pedersen lifts quite badly, loses all his momentum, and Ward's there ready to pounce and just shows him his back wheel as they come charging down the back straight. Nice ride from Darcy Ward. He'll be pleased with that. 11 points is a good job.
Yeah, and the way Ward slowed up and looked over his shoulder at Nicky Pedersen at the end of the race.
I think there was some intent in that, wasn't there?
I think so, yeah. But it's just another interesting moment in the GP, and by my reckoning, Nicky Pedersen has edged through on count back because there are 4 riders on 8 points, and I think it's Kasperzak and Jonsson that are going to miss out here. We're just waiting for final confirmation on that. Smolinski and Pedersen likely to go through on the countback, but we'll just confirm that for you as soon as we can. We know Woofenden. We know that
how many
Ty
riders
Woofenden,
on 8 points? Four riders
yeah.
on 8 points, so 2 of them are going to miss out. At the moment, we've got Smolinski and Pedersen through, with Kasperzak and Jonsson just missing out. But there's going to be some furious calculations here, who met who, because they've all got 1 race win each. So yeah, it could be a hard luck story for Kasperzak and Jonsson. And I feel for Harris. Harris has shown well, but the last 2 rides have just not provided him with any points at all, and he just misses out once again.
Yeah, Chris Harris started well, but it just wasn't to be for him.
Hampel and Zagar, Nigel. I don't know what's going on there. And also, tell me what's gone on with Batchelor. I don't understand that.
Can't answer it.
20 points 2 weeks ago, and just 3 points tonight from the inside 2 gates. He must be scratching his head. Probably brought the same bike here, full of confidence, and failed to score until his 4th ride.
I have no idea why that has happened. It is quite extraordinary.
With all your extensive speedway experience.
I mean,
it must be tough though, isn't it? Because you know, your mind must be scrambled, because you're thinking, well, this bike I rode 2 weeks ago and I could not stop winning, and so far tonight it just hasn't worked at all. It's a tough old game, isn't it?
Absolutely. Just awaiting final confirmation from the FIM and the jury here on the countback and the 8 qualifiers. We know for sure Woofenden, Everson, Ward, Jepsen, Jensen, Lindgren and Hancock are all in the top 8. There's 4 riders tied on 8 points, so it goes to a countback, it goes to race wins. However, Smolinski, Pedersen, Kasperzak and Jonsson have all got 1 race apiece. It then goes down to who beats who, and this is confirmation now. Pedersen misses out, and Jonsson. So it's Smolinski and Kasperzak who go through, but Nicky Pedersen misses out on countback, and that is a savage blow to Nicky, because he didn't make the semis in Copenhagen either.
Last 2 Grand Prix have been very disappointing for Nicky Pedersen. He has had some decent results lately, but he hasn't been able to perform at this level, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with that. That win there was absolutely crucial to him, and he may well have been. That's why he was so ruthless out there, desperately trying to hang on. We'll take a quick look at the gates. The outside 2 gates have been very fruitful, and that's slightly unusual. The inside gate, no surprise to see that that's worked well. Gate 2, just a couple of winners from there, but interesting choices for the point scorers in the semi-finals. It'll be interesting to see which way they go. The outside gate is risky when you come up against 3 other riders on the inside that are in top form, so I wouldn't necessarily go for that one.
So, some great entertainment tonight, and there's plenty more to come in 2 semi-finals, and the final still to come. And what a story it would be if Ty Woofenden could win his home Grand Prix here in Cardiff.
Well, on the evidence of his first 5 rides, he's more than capable of doing that. He's won 2 Grand Prix already this year. Could have won 3 in actual fact in Finland. He only just got out of shape in the last corner, and Zagar just pipped him to the post that night. But he is, for me, the best rider in the world right now. And I see no reason why he can't go on to win here tonight.
Absolutely. So we're just waiting for the draw for the semi-finals here. Gate positions as the riders prepare, and this is a moment where mentally they have to put everything into it, because there's a gap in proceedings between Heat 20 and the first semi-final.
Yeah, there is indeed, and just reflecting on the support for this event, it's a fabulous turnout again. Good atmosphere, coming to the business end of the night when it really matters, and 1 or 2 big casualties that have just missed out for the semi-finals, but certainly the world champion, big smiles, because he's comfortably through. He's going to have the first pick, so relaxed. Which way will he go? Inside gate for Ty. Oh, no.
Interesting.
Gate 3, but that's been quite fruitful, hasn't it? So not a complete surprise. I think the outside gate would have been a big risk. Greg, I think, well, maybe he's got to go for the inside, yeah. That's no surprise. I think he'll be reasonably pleased with that. That's not a 2, but the 2 top men going head-to-head in the first semi-final. Lindgren on the outside is looking for the big blast or a turn back. Smolinski, the best performance from Smolinski, the German, for some considerable time. So fair play to him.
Lindgren has just crept in unnoticed almost, hasn't he? He's just done a good, solid job tonight.
Yeah, he's been riding really hard. He's been jumping around a little bit, yeah, but it's been sort of on sheer determination that the Swedish rider has managed to make the semi-finals. He's got a good record in Britain. He'll be pleased to have made the top 8.
Here we go for the second semi-final lineup then.
Everson, gate 4. Now, he likes it on the outside, but it is risky at this stage of the night if somebody on the inside can stop your run. Darcy Ward, little unsighted. Gate 3, okay, he goes where Ty goes from. That does give Jepsen Jensen an opportunity for a decent start place. He's hesitating a little bit.
Any time today, Michael?
Yeah, while you're young. Yeah, he's gone for the inside. Gate 2, clearly everybody's recognised as the worst gate out of the lot. And KK, a better performance from him tonight, gets left with the Gate 2 position. So the 2 lineups now there. Jepsen Jensen, Kasperzak, Ward and Everson for the second semi-final.
Well, it's all set up quite beautifully here then at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And Chris Harris is preparing to speak to us. We'll hopefully catch up with him very soon. And the 2 semi-finals are upon us. And this Millennium Stadium crowd have been absolutely gripped by what they've seen here tonight.
They could well have a British winner tonight, couldn't they? What a night. I'm sure they get quite excited about that, Nigel.
Yeah, just a little bit. We do love it here. It's fantastic. It's one of the highlights of the year coming here to Cardiff for the British Grand Prix. It's such a fantastic stadium. Even all these years since it was built in 1999, 15 years ago now. I mean, I remember coming here when it was brand new. It's just had a lick of paint, and it still looks as good as new for me, this stadium. It's fantastic.
And the novelty's never really worn off. I've always enjoyed it here, and it always creates this marvellous buzz, and fair play to the British support. They come out in their droves, and it's really quite a mecca of Speedway now, isn't it? It's replaced the old Wembley, hasn't it?
Spiritual home of the sport.
Yeah, I would go as far as that. I would suggest, you know, there are other countries with some marvellous venues as well, like Torun in Poland. That is a marvellous venue which we will visit at the end of this series. Stockholm, the Friends Arena, is a new venue that we visit now later in the year. That's another marvellous indoor stadium. But no, Millennium Stadium here in Cardiff is the number 1 still.
Very much so. Got to be said as well, I've been here for big football cup finals. I've been here for football internationals as well, and has to be said, the atmosphere here for the British Speedway Grand Prix is every bit as much of an FA Cup final.
Big clash, isn't it, between Hancock and Woofenden in the first semi-final. I'm not sure that Hancock will be delighted about that when he's seen how good Woofenden has ridden tonight. I think that really does put them under pressure, but
that'll be decided at the gate, Kelvin, won't it?
That will
be decided on the start line.
No doubt. I think the speed of Woofenden, if he gets his nose in front, it'll only be a mistake from him that will throw the race away. Riders just beginning to make their way out now. Smolinski, we've mentioned him. He has ridden nicely. He's worked to the inside nicely and has had a lot more speed here this evening, and he'll be very pleased with that.
Yep. One heck of a lineup here for the semi-final. Greg Hancock, who's been there and seen it and done it all before. Freddie Lindgren alongside Ty Woofenden there, former teammates at Wolverhampton, and the World Championship standings, 3 points the difference.
Yep, it's still very close, and this is an opportunity potentially for the world champion. If Hancock slipped out here, Woofenden could steal a bit of a march to be the single leader out in front.
Ty Woofenden emerges from the tunnel area, the pits area first. Will he be first to the checkered flag here in this first semi-final? It is quite a lineup here in the Millennium Stadium, and the crowd hugely patriotic. The flags flying high. It's some atmosphere here.
What a noise! It's just gone up an octave or two, isn't it? The noise when it came out on the track there was extraordinary. They know the significance of this race very well. Very knowledgeable crowd here, of course. They all follow their teams on a weekly basis, and they know what this is all about. Woofenden coming out of gate 3, he chose it. This is a tough lineup with Hancock on the inside. It's going to go head to head once again.
Excellent lineup. Doesn't get any better than this. Grand Prix Speedway. the top 2 riders in the world battling in this semi-final. But they have Smolinski and Lindgren hoping to spoil the party as well for a place in the final.
Lindgren could be a danger, couldn't he? He passed Woofenden just momentarily, didn't he? He just got him round the outside, but Woofenden then responded brilliantly and got himself back to the front. But he can't rule Lindgren out entirely because he's been very determined indeed. First semi-final coming up.
Here we go with the first semi-final. Greg Hancock second in the world standings right now off the inside. Martin Smolinski off 2. The series leader and reigning champ Woofenden off 3. And Lindgren going off the outside. What a lineup. The top 2 riders in the world. Hancock and Woofenden going for it. But Smolinski and Lindgren looking to spoil the party. It's all set up beautifully. Semi-final 1.
It is set up nicely, and Woofenden's got a 3-point advantage at this stage, and if he could just keep going, he might well be able to steal a march here. Massive race, this.
Here we go, first semi-final. Hancock's made a good one off the inside gate, but Woofenden's got the drop. Ty Woofenden has the lead as Lindgren almost loses it on the apex of turns 1 and 2, but it's the top 2 in the world who hold the lead right now. Ty Woofenden from Greg Hancock, and Lindgren comes through into 3rd.
Yeah, Lindgren was out of shape in that first corner, but the 2 top boys in the world made brilliant starts. Woofenden the slightly the better, and he's out in front. Barring a mistake here, I would think that Hancock will sit nicely there in second place. Hancock's got speed, so he is a danger. Lindgren just did not get the run round that first corner he was looking for, nor did Smolinski. The 2 boys out in front, they're looking good, and that's why they're the best 2 right now.
And if it stays like this, Kelvin, it means that Ty Woofenden, the reigning champion, going into the World Cup break, will lead the World Championship for the next month.
Absolutely, what a super ride from the world champion, winning again!
Ty Woofenden is through to the final in Cardiff, so is Greg Hancock, and those 2 are going head-to-head for the world title, make no mistake about that. They'll be at it again in the final, and it does mean here now that Ty Woofenden has a 4-point lead in the World Championship over Greg Hancock, and whatever happens, Woofenden will lead the World Championship going into the World Cup break over the course of the next month.
Extraordinary scenes once again here. Ty Woofenden riding absolutely out of the top drawer. Good start out of gate 3, brilliant start, and Hancock was very sharp away from the inside as well, but Woofenden just has the pace. But Hancock, you cannot rest on your laurels because he was very quick in second place. What a reception coming out for the race, winning the race once again. The fans are in 7th heaven here this evening. Woofenden and Hancock through.
Well, Woofenden, Hancock, Lindgren and Smolinski, and I'll tell you what as well, Woofenden is a clear, look at him, 16 points now, 5 ahead of anybody else, although Everson and Ward have got the semi-final
to
come.
Nigel, on a night like this, it's a fantastic performance when the pressure doesn't seem to have affected him at all. Peter Johns there deep in conversation, big smiles, they're very relaxed, but there's one fairly important race to come.
Just a little bit. What a fairy tale it would be if Woofenden was to win the British Grand Prix.
It would be a fairy tale. It would be the second time it's happened, and I can remember clearly the scenes we witnessed when Harris won in 2007. Hancock and Woofenden make super starts, but it's Woofenden that makes the better, clamps it down on the inside, has a sneaky look over his right shoulder, there's nobody there, and he powers to the front, wins in good style.
I noticed Ty went and had a look at gate 2 after the race there, but then looked across at gate 3 as well. So will he go for the same gate position in the final, I wonder? But he punches the air with delight.
Well, it must be a good chance. He made such a super start from gate 3. Just keeping an eye on how the track is developing. But Woofenden, it's all going very smoothly right now.
4-point lead in the World Championship, and therefore, with 3 points available for a win in the final, whatever happens, he will be World Championship leader going into the World Cup break. This is round 7 of 12 in the World Championship, and we have the Monster Energy FIM Speedway World Cup. If you fancy that, you're watching this tonight at home, get along to Kings Lynn 2 weeks tonight, 26th of July. It's Great Britain, including Ty Woofenden, against America, including Greg Hancock. At Kings Lynn, that place is going to be packed.
It's going to be rocking, and Kings Lynn's one of the better tracks around, and Buster Chapman, the promoter there, puts on a great show.
Yeah, he's here tonight. I had a long chat with Keith Chapman earlier. Buster Chapman
loves it. Loves this speedway.
Jepsen Jensen, Kasper Zak, Ward and Iversen. The lineup then. This is the second semi-final. Who will join Woofenden and Hancock in the final here in Cardiff? Green light on. It's a good start from Ward off gate number 3. He's going to clamp the line now, and Darcy Ward has that lead. Iversen has been left at the back. Jepsen Jensen second right now. Kasper Zak is third, and Niels Christian Iversen at the back is a bit of a surprise, but Darcy Ward has that lead with Jepsen Jensen second, and as it stands, it'll be Ward, Jepsen Jensen, Woofenden and Hancock in the final here in Cardiff.
Well, gate 3's worked again here in the second semi-final. Woofenden made it work just in the previous race. Jepsen Jensen in second place, but he's under pressure. He lifts there, and Kasper Zak's going to get through. Kasper Zak! Oh, Jepsen Jensen in second run, he's off. Kasper Zak's through. Got to say, Jepsen Jensen's done brilliantly to get the bike up, but that's benefited Kasper Zak. Iversen with a lap to go. Can he get the better of the Polish rider?
And I'll tell you what, every fan on that second turn applauded Jepsen Jensen for getting the bike off the track. Ward now is going to take the victory in the second semi-final. Darcy Ward from Christoph Kasper Zak, who just gets the better of Iversen. You've got to commiserate with Jepsen Jensen there. What a way for your night to end. And I'll tell you this much as well, with Michael Jepsen Jensen in second place there, it's heartbreak for him, but he's here as a replacement, and when he cleared the track, there were hundreds of fans who gave him a standing ovation for doing that to allow the race to continue.
He made a lot of friends there, didn't he? That was... he's obviously gutted that he didn't make the final, and it's unfortunate he got caught out by the track there, but it was a terrific move. But Darcy Ward out of gate 3 was majestic, and Ward is going to be a major threat for the final.
What a lineup. Ward and Kasper Zak go through to face Woofenden and Hancock. What a final it is. Fantastic. Ward on 14, Iversen on 12. His night is over. Kasper Zak on 10. The final is to come.
Well, second semi-final, we saw some dramatic scenes there with Jepsen Jensen coming off the motorbike. Good start from Darcy Ward. He's got his trapping hand back out, and he makes a super start here, clamps it down on the inside and has no trouble out in front. Jepsen Jensen at this stage looks quite comfortable, but then he starts lifting and he gets himself in trouble, and then look at that, the bike, he's got no chance, and he comes off and he just gets pummeled up against the air fence. The bike just literally hits a ridge there, hits a rut, and he cannot hang on to the bike. Kasper Zak had got himself through to second place, and Kasper Zak's got a good record here. He's been on the rostrum twice in the past, and he will be very much pleased with that. It's a return to form for Kasper Zak. Ward's team delighted, and he's got to be very pleased with that, because after getting off the motorbike, he's responded brilliantly.
Fair to say it's a monster final ahead.
Yeah, it is.
3 of them.
Yes,
in
3
the
of them.
Camp.
And look at that, he's almost matching the form of Ty Woofenden and Darcy Ward in the second half of the meeting. Ward has won his last 3, as has Ty Woofenden, so Woofenden's still got work to do. It is a sensational lineup for the final, with Hancock and Ward and Woofenden in there, and Kasper Zak, who has already also won a Grand Prix this year in Poland. Yeah, this is good stuff coming up.
So the final is going to be something special, no question about that. Really looking forward to it. The roller is out, they're doing some track preparation as we prepare for the draw, for the pick of gate positions for the final.
Yeah, just that rut in the middle of the first and second corner is just alarming, isn't it? Just caught 1 or 2 riders out, and we needed to just maybe roll that back in. We don't want anything to cost the rider in the final. We were just chatting about the lineup for the final. It's deserved of this venue, isn't it? It's living up to it big time now. The 2 top men going ahead. Gate wins, this will be interesting to see if it's changed much. Gate 2, nothing, but gate 3 has come to the fore. And that's largely because of Darcy Ward and Ty Woofenden winning from there in the consecutive semi-finals.
Absolutely, so we'll head down to the pitch soon as the riders prepare to pick their gate possessions for the grand final here in Cardiff. It really has been a fantastic week in the build-up here at the Millennium Stadium in the UK, with the national newspaper coverage, online coverage, TV coverage. It's just been a wall-to-wall speedway in the media over the last week in the UK, Kelvin.
Fabulous. It's been unprecedented. I can't remember it being so high profile, but it's a delight to see and putting the sport on the map. And when you've got a rider like Ty Woofenden, the world champion, riding so well, it's only going to keep going, isn't it? The interest is going to grow and grow. Riders are now just getting themselves ready for the final. We're waiting for them to come up to make their picks for the all-important starting positions for the final. Fabulous lineup. It's going to be a dramatic last race here, that's for sure.
Just a little slight delay whilst the heavy roller goes round again under the direction of the race secretary Tony Olsen, the Grand Prix race director, I should say, Tony Olsen.
Yeah, and also Ollie Olsen is also certainly heavily involved with the temporary track still, and he's keenly looking on, so there's a joint effort going on here certainly, and this heavy roller, they need it. This is the corner, this is where Jepsen Jensen just got caught out, and there's a ridge in there that they need to just smooth out to make sure that somebody doesn't come off and injure themselves and will get caught out and cost them the opportunities to win the meeting.
Just adds to the tension here, Kelv, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been a good night. It's been it's been well attended. There's been a great atmosphere, and the fact that we've got a British rider dominating the World Championship again this season, it's a sight to behold, and the fans are loving it.
Well, the riders prepare to pick their gate positions then for the final here. Hancock, Ward and Woofenden, they're all pals, they're all mates, as well as rivals.
They are. Here comes the riders now for the all-important final. Good turnout. Girls are ready. Woofenden just waiting to be called forward. He now comes forward. He decides gate 3. No surprise, won comfortably from there in his semi-final. Ward, who's been spectacular. Gate 1 for him. No hesitation. He's going to be a threat. Hancock would have liked that.
Yes,
he would have liked that. He's going to have to go the outside. Not completely comfortable with that one. And Kasperzak will go for gate 2, which hasn't won too many races this evening. But it's a great lineup for the final, no question about it.
Woofenden favourite?
Yes, on the performances so far, but I think very closely behind him is Darcy Ward. I think Ward has certainly turned things on, turned the style on. You look at the last 4 races from Ward, 2, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3 from Woofenden. Both riders in tip-top form.
5 wins for Woofenden tonight, and been a good night's work in his home Grand Prix with a fantastic crowd here. Very, very patriotic. And
unfortunately, though he's worked so well, it will be a disappointment if he doesn't win the final.
Yes.
So, he's got 16 points. He leads the championship, will lead the championship going into the summer break, but he needs to win it now. This crowd, they want more and more from him, and somehow he's got to produce the goods coming out of gate 3.
Yeah, if he doesn't win the final, he'll be disappointed, and it'll be 24 hours really before maybe it sinks in that he's had such a fantastic night and leads the World Championship. And, there's only Darcy Ward who can prevent him from finishing top scorer tonight. And that is if Ward wins and Woofy finishes last. Exactly, it just shows you how dominant he's been and so how consistent. Just the one blip in his third ride where he just got past a couple of times. But preparations are being made for presentations, and the final just being delayed a touch. Because it really is going to be something quite spectacular, I'm sure. A fabulous introduction, and it could well be a fabulous rostrum ceremony as well. But the lineup for the final is very tasty indeed. Woofenden favourite, but only just. I think Ward is very hungry for another win. Absolutely right. Woofenden just on the pick gate, just taking a look. Punches the air as he hears his name announced. He's buzzing on it, isn't he? He's really... Do you think they want him to win? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And that's why I say, now, although he's ridden so well, he's given these fans so much to cheer about. He's got to win it now. He's got to win it for them to all go home with a massive smile on their face. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look under pressure. He just looks like he's loving every minute of it. And when I remember Tony Rickards and how concentrated and how determined he was when he was winning Grand Prix on a regular basis, Woofenden is the complete opposite. He just walks around casually, chatting about his charity rides. Entirely different character, but the end result is, at the moment, he's producing the goods. Well, he's just been out on the track there and just taking a look at the conditions. You'll have seen that the roller has been out, and now it's time to get your race face on and prepare for the final. Not quite sure why the wait is here and now, because the track preppers.
Well, maybe they're just
finished.
building the tension just a fraction.
Yeah.
We've had no real restarts. We've rattled through the races, and it's got to be said that it's been a very slickly run show this evening. Fair play to the organisers. The riders are now preparing themselves. Woofenden's keen to get on with it. He's getting pushed off. Hancock there with the helmet on, the goggles on, just putting the kill switch on, the lanyard. Fantastic final. This is going to be a sight to behold. Here they come, Nige.
Yep.
Out for the big race. Can Woofenden do it?
Well, what a final it is, and this Millennium Stadium atmosphere is electric here as we build up to the final. And what a final it promises to be here at the Millennium Stadium. Woofenden is first to the tapes. Woofenden 88, Hancock 84, and now Darcy Ward has rocketed up the standings tonight, level with Everson on 74. So Darcy Ward can go third in the world tonight, which will be a great night's work, whatever he does, if he scores a point here in this final.
Yeah, brilliant work from Ward. He started on 60 points tonight and missed out a couple of times on the semis, but tonight he's been well and truly in it. Going from that inside gate, this is going to be quite a first corner. Pressure's on. Hancock from the outside. Don't think he's completely happy with that. I think he fancied going from the inside, but Ward had that second pick and took it. You could see the expression on his face. He was a touch disappointed when he missed out on the opportunity to go from the inside.
Here we go then, the grand final of Cardiff is upon us, and what a race it promises to be. Here we go, the main event. Darcy Ward off the inside in red from Australia. Poland's Krzysztof Kasperzak, gate 2 in blue. Great Britain's Ty Woofenden, gate 3 in white. And USA's Greg Hancock going off the outside. The atmosphere is electric. Wall-to-wall media coverage of Speedway over the last week. Television, newspapers, radio, online. And it's all been about this young man, Ty Woofenden. He's not feeling the pressure, he's relaxed, he's cool, and he's ready to race here in what promises to be a fantastic final in Cardiff.
Yeah, on the evidence of his riding so far, you're dead right, Nigel. He just seems to have been very relaxed and taken it all in his stride, but this is the one that really counts. Can he produce the big start right now?
Here we go, grand final in Cardiff. And he's not made the best of starts. Hancock has done that. Hancock has got the lead. Oh, and Hancock's got it really out of control, but manages to get back under control, and he has the lead. Greg Hancock now leads here in the grand final. Woofenden is going to have to go wide. Darcy Ward is third, and Kasperzak is at the back now. Ward's going for Woofenden here, and now Woofenden is chasing hard after Hancock. What a final this is!
Fabulous first lap there from Greg Hancock, but he locks up, and Woofenden's right back in the thick of the action. Up the inside, there's a run on that first corner. Hancock hits it, just loses his momentum. Woofenden up the inside, pushing really hard. Hancock clams the door shut with Ward round the outside. Fabulous action, a lap to go.
Oh, Woofenden's almost lost it there. Woofenden's gone so wide, he's lost ground. Now he's going to try and come round Ward. But Greg Hancock is on the verge of victory in Cardiff. It's Greg Herbie Hancock wins the British Grand Prix. But it's Ty Woofenden who gets second and leads the World Championship. A sensational speedway race. Darcy Ward third, Kasperzak at the back. And there will be no more popular winner than Greg Hancock here in Cardiff. 44 years of age, he's a legend, he's an icon, and he wins in Great Britain.
Fabulous ride from Greg Hancock. He wasn't too best pleased with going from the outside. He made a jet-propelled start. You just saw Woofenden, the bike didn't quite dig in and drive as hard to the first corner as he really wished. He was there, it was awfully fast. There's one or two ruts appearing and riders were beginning to really have to hang on to their bikes. Hancock, what a master of his craft, has been doing it so long and still winning at the highest level. All credit to him. A great effort from Ty Woofenden. He has delighted the home crowd throughout the evening, and second place will feel a little bit disappointed, but still, what a final with Ward hovering in third place, desperately looking for a way through. A fabulous finish to the night. Really was quite a special race, but Hancock absolutely fabulous out in front.
He's going to every corner of the Millennium Stadium, and he can't believe it. His wife Jenny is just below us here in the stadium, and he punches the air. He is a gentleman, Greg Hancock, and he is a hugely popular winner of the British Grand Prix here in Cardiff.
Dead right, Nigel, and as I say, as a rider who's been doing it for so long, up against two young guns like Darcy Ward and Ty Woofenden, it puts it in perspective. It is such a good race to win. On the biggest venue in the world, Hancock comes up with an absolutely majestic ride to win in the Millennium Stadium again. Woofenden are probably a touch disappointed, but he's celebrating well, and all three riders, I'm sure, enjoyed that final.
Yep. Hancock, Woofenden, Ward and Kasperzak was the finishing order there. Hancock is lapping I've never seen him celebrate like this. Every corner of the stadium. Woofenden 18, top scorer on the night. Ward 15, Hancock 14. But Greg Hancock is going to every corner of this stadium and lapping it up.
Yeah, and rightly so. On a big night like this, you know, this doesn't come along every day of the week, does it? Riding in this type of stadia with so many people witnessing it. And to
spent
do
a lot of years
against,
in Britain, Kelv, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He was very popular. But, you know, when you consider the opposition he's just beaten, Nigel, you know, they're half his age. And he's done it in grand style. We see it again. Woofenden doesn't quite get there on the first corner. He hits that rut, and I thought that might cost him, but all riders were a little bit cautious going through the first turn. And then Hancock out in front with Woofenden charging so hard in second place. Watch this first corner. Just there, just lifts. There's a rut there, and I thought for a moment that might hurt him, but he recovers in great style and rides an absolutely superb ride to pick up his win. Ward is pushing hard. Woofenden, as you said, Nigel, in commentary, just went too wide. He got too much grip, and it chucked him wide, and he very nearly threw second place away, but such is the control of the world champion, he's able to recover and still gets himself back into second place. Lifting coming out of the last corner. This is the moment of glory for Hancock. Superb effort.
Well, sensational race in the final there. And it's been a great night of Speedway. Hancock celebrating in style. Ty Woofenden, runner-up in Cardiff tonight, but top scorer with 18 points. And let's hear from Ty Woofenden with Jason Harold.
Well, here he is, just watching that on the big screen here in the Millennium Stadium. Ty Woofenden, talk us through the start of that.
Yeah, I didn't make as good a start as I did in the semi, but pushed as hard as I could. So a few ruts just coming in here, and I wanted to go wide, but not as wide as I did. And on the last lap, I had that much speed. I just got past Darcy again, and I steamrolled into this corner. And when I got there, I lifted, and I was like, no, not even joking. I was millimeters away from Greg's back wheel, but you know, second year, came here today to collect points, done my job. What a great crowd we got here. Thank you.
The World Championship, it's still wide open. You're still leading as we go into the World Cup. How important is that for you to still be on the top step come this time?
I said 2 weeks ago, you know, I'll be happy if I finish the indoors and be 5 points behind Greg. You know, he's a real good rider around here, and it suits him a lot. Not so much, but you know, done everything I needed to do today, and it's a big long stretch now. Got to keep going.
Ty, thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, Ty Woofenden. And here's Greg Hancock now, the winner of the British Grand Prix, talking to Jason.
Greg Hancock, first Grand Prix winner. How does it feel?
You know what? I said it before, I'll say it again. I love you guys.
It seems that you are a very popular winner. What does it mean to you to have the backing of the fans here?
You know what? This really is like home away from home for me. And you guys, Jesus, all the years. You still hear me? All the years I've been doing this, you know, and you guys still come out, you still build me up, and you definitely give me the energy I need to keep on making this thing happen. Thank you so much.
Well, enjoy the anthem, Greg. Thank you.
Well, that was an extra special ride and performance from Greg Hancock, and he compliments the crowd, the energy that he feeds off, and he certainly had plenty of energy out there in the final.
Yeah, brilliant stuff then here at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. Fantastic crowd who've loved every minute of it here. And what it means is that the overall standings, Ty Woffington now on 90 and Greg Hancock on 87.
Yeah, great rides there from Ward and Ty Woffington, who has delighted the home crowd. Ward has had a much better improvement. Really terrific performance from Darcy Ward to get back on the rostrum. But it's all about one man, Greg Hancock. This is an extraordinary evening for him. He's won here before, but I think this probably means the most to him. When you consider the quality of the two riders either side of him, it really is an exceptional win for him. He's been around for an awful long time, but Greg Hancock fully deserves to win. Well, superb scenes, super reception once again for Greg Hancock. The national anthem there, USA, makes him, I'm surely, immensely proud to be stood on the top of the box here this evening, Nigel.
Yep, absolutely right, Kelvin. It's been a good show tonight. Great crowd, hugely enjoyable. It's time for the presentation of the trophies. Third place Darcy Ward, who's third on the night, and now third in the world as well, Kelvin, in the world standings.
Good work from Darcy Ward. He's been disappointing in the last couple of Grand Prix by his own very high standards, and he rode nicely there. He was action-packed in third place, and he was pleased with that. He's on the rostrum once again. Now the man that everybody was so desperate to see on top of the box, but Woffington has done a terrific job tonight.
Yeah, second place in the British Grand Prix, Ty Woffington. I'm sure he'd have settled for that though at the end of the start of the proceedings. Jason Crump, great to see him here, presenting the trophies, the 3 times world champion. He knows what this feeling is like.
Yeah, he's won here before, and of course Greg and Jason would have gone head to head on many occasions, so I'm sure this is a smashing moment for Jason as well, who's over visiting the UK from Australia and paying the ultimate respect. And those two boys went head to head on many occasions, and I'm sure Jason is probably absolutely gobsmacked on how consistent and how motivated at the age of 44 Greg Hancock is. It is quite a remarkable performance, and what a career this man is having. It is quite extraordinary.
Well, it's time for the champagne. The boys will enjoy this. It's been a hard night's work, no doubt about that, as Hancock prepares to celebrate, and this crowd have been entertained superbly here in the Millennium Stadium. Greg Hancock is winner of the 2014 British Speedway Grand Prix, with Woffington and Ward, the young pretenders, celebrating with him on the rostrum.
Well, Woffington is the championship leader, and he has had a super night himself, albeit that he didn't quite manage to win the meeting. Woffington running around as if he's got plenty of energy and could do it all over again. I don't suspect that Hancock will be running around with so much energy left, but nonetheless a super night for all concerned, and a fantastic turnout and I'm sure they've all been chuffed to bits to have watched the Grand Prix here again this evening.
Absolutely. The photographs being taken for the world's media. And what a story it is with Greg Hancock winning here at 44 years of age. It's fantastic, the fact that he's never missed a Grand Prix. He's won here in Cardiff before, as you say, Kel, but this is a particularly sweet moment for Greg Hancock.
I'm sure this is going to go up in his office with the pictures of Woofenden and Ward either side of him. He's second in the World Championship. Woofenden still leads nicely, and he's scored a whole hatful of points after not performing quite as well. And it was interesting, he said that the indoor stadiums didn't really suit him. So he's chuffed to bits to get out of here with so many points. Of course, he would have been delighted to have won. But nonetheless, the idea of going back-to-back and retaining his World Championship is very much on.
We go to Riga next, and that's in mid-August, of course. Seems a long time away now because we have the World Cup coming up. They're looking forward to that. Always enjoy the World Cup week. And the USA are at Kings Lynn 2 weeks tonight, so we'll see Woofenden and Hancock in that meeting. That'll be a cracking night.
It will be, and we've been there on several occasions through the Norfolk Arena, and we've witnessed some super speedway. The World Cup always produces some excellent entertainment. I'm sure this year, with the final being in Bydgoszcz, which is one of the best tracks in the world, we could see something very special once again. Riders now just beginning to make their way away from the rostrum. But yeah, that's been one special Grand Prix, and I've really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, Kelvin, it's been a fantastic first half of the Grand Prix season. 7 rounds we've done, 5 more to go. Looking forward to the World Cup as well. Your closing thoughts on tonight's action?
I think all credit to the organisers for putting on such a smashing show. Fantastic turnout and a marvellous winner in Greg Hancock.
Couldn't agree more. Kelvin, enjoyed your company once again here at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage here tonight as well. 23 pulsating speedway races. It's been absolutely fantastic. And we'll be back for the World Cup in a couple of weeks. And then Riga, the Latvian GP in August. A record-breaking fantastic atmosphere.